All right, everybody, and I'm doing it again. All right, everybody, and welcome to this week's Saturday Football Live. I am delighted to be joined in the studio by. Oh, I went too early. I've done it again, man. This is killing me. So I'm delighted to be joined in the studio by Des Roach and Scott Perry. Gentlemen, how are we?
Doing well, thanks. How are you?
I'm not bad, mate. Do you know what? I did the Audacity well on this, and then I forgot to hit the assist button. Every time I get something wrong, I will get it better. But look, how are we, everybody? It's been a good week for the podcast. We've had a lot of new shows. I appreciate everybody commenting, liking, subscribing. We've actually, I think we got like 30 odd subscribers this week, which was really nice. So it's genuinely really appreciated. Before we get ourselves right into the show, because we've got an absolute belter today with the amount of big games for promotions, for relegations. It's going to be a great weekend because I think we're going to see a lot of twists and turns today. But before we get into that, if you would like to help us out, because it's new all these new shows, we're looking for a wee bit extra support. You can get a membership on the YouTube channel, which would be really helpful, helping us get equipment, because we need to get equipment for all the guys to make sure we can get the highest standard of show put out to you. Just it takes 2 minutes. You just go into the channel and then subscribe and become a member. So it's really appreciated. But this week, as always, gentlemen, we have an absolute belter. We've got our featured fixtures. So we've got East Kilbride versus Gala this week. We've got Hurlford versus Gartcairn, Rob Roy versus Maple, Muirkirk versus the Ants, Thrieve versus Greenock, Knightswood versus Easterhouse. This week, we've got a couple of managers leaving their posts. We've got definitely going to have some chat about that. But look, Des, what's your thoughts on this weekend then?
I think this could be quite a pivotal weekend. The way that the fixtures are lined, the way that the teams are placed in the league, who they're playing against each other. As you said, managers leaving. A lot of teams spiraling uncontrollably to an extent, and a lot of other teams picking up points, which is putting pressure at the top. So I think this is going to be a really, really interesting weekend. As I've been, particularly from the feature fixtures that we've got, I think there could be some interesting results.
I think so. Scott, with yourself?
No, totally agree with Des there. But at that part of the season now, where Des was saying, people are starting to go on late runs, pick up points, last pushes for promotion, pushes to try to stay in the league. Some teams are going the other way. We were talking earlier about the other shots they're on as well. They're doing a good push. It's excellent, honestly. So they're battling away. So I think it's at that pivotal part of the season. It's really exciting.
Definitely. We'll get ourselves into PG versus the Pundits. I am 3 weeks in a row I've lost, and it's quite painful. The 2 years beat me last time, so 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks ago you beat me, didn't it? It's been pretty sore. It's pretty sore, to be honest. And I'm supposed to be the host. I'm supposed to be the one who knows, done this for years. But see, to be honest, it's very similar. See, when I put on a curtain, honestly, right, that'll win, right. That might be a bit tight, but that'll be fine. Then at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't know if I've ever watched football before. Just so far out of it. Right, so, first game, gentlemen, Scott, East Kilbride versus Gala.
I'm quite confident East Kilbride win for me today. Obviously, they're up top of the league looking for promotion. Gala are really toiling for me at the moment in the bottom half. I was just checking things during the week there. 73 goals Gala Ferradino have conceded this season, which is, that is a lot of goals to concede.
See, to be fair though, on that, right, they've scored 53 goals and they're sitting second bottom.
Yeah.
And that's a bit mad.
For me, you must be looking at them defensively. For a coach, that must be driving you insane, because you're looking at that, they've scored 50 odd goals in 20 odd games. You're averaging, 2 goals a game? So, what about that? So, if you're averaging that, you shouldn't be sitting second bottom of the league. On the other flip side, EK sitting 60 points. Obviously, they've scored 94 goals
I know,
this season.
that's crazy.
So it's a massive difference. So, knowing us, what's happened the last couple of weeks, we thought we were going to get a massive one with the form, and it was Knightswood.
Knightswood, 1-0.
1-0. So, no doubt will happen today, but going on paper, you think EK would comfortably take 3 points today.
Does?
Yeah, no, I can't agree. The issue isn't scoring the goals, as we said. But when you're losing that amount, then there's only one place you can look. And that's your defensive form. So I'm quite confident that East Kilbride should win that.
Particularly as well, what you touched on, East Kilbride have scored 94 goals, so you know they will score. Defensively, I don't think East Kilbride have been as sound as they probably. I think that's maybe more the way they play. They're very expansive and opening, and they do like to go and attack, which I suppose for the neutral it's good to watch. I'm going to go the same. We won't go into too much depth just now. I'll get Mick Kennedy gave us an interview, so we'll listen to that once we went through it. So I'll go for East Kilbride as well. There's Hurlford, Gartcairn. What do we think?
I think this is a tight one. I don't want to sit in the fence and say it will be a draw, right? Because I think that's the one that probably screams out in most folk. But Gartcairn's run of form is particularly poor, really poor. Hurlford are at home, and Dan Henderson and his team are doing everything they can to make sure they are avoiding any relegation slips this year. So I think Hurlford, on paper, Hurlford should win it. Sorry, on paper, Gartcairn should win it with the quality that they have in their team. But the game's not played in paper. The game's played in grass, and Gartcairn's form is really, really poor. I'm going to go Hurlford, right, purely because I want to see a winner, but I can see a draw.
So
I'm going to go with Hurlford as well. I think a point's no use to any of these teams.
No,
it's no use to any of them. Somebody needs to win. And as Des says, Gartcairn's form has been really poor. Hurlford have been picking up their points here and there as well. They're competing. So can't disagree. Go with Hurlford.
I'm very much in the same camp as yourself, Des. I think that if I was to, a draw is probably what my heart is telling me, or what my head's telling me, sorry. I would like to see a winner, and Scott, I think you're right as well. A point's better for Hurlford today, but I don't think it's... Hurlford could end up, if Hurlford win, they end up 8 points clear with 3 games in hand. Gartcairn only having 7 games left. I think
the pressure will get. I think the pressure's already. I don't mean getting to it. I think it's already there.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to sit in the fence and go for a draw. Rob Roy Mabel. Des, what do we think?
Rob Roy being at home. Mabel, the wee bit of a bounce recently. The new manager coming in. They're trying to impress their manager. I know Mabel are 2 places ahead of Rob Roy in the league. This is one that's probably more likely to be a draw for me.
Think so?
Yeah.
I'll turn the aircon off. I can hear it coming through, even though it feels nice in here. There we go.
Brilliant. For me, I think it's very important that Kirky Rob Roy pick up 3 points for me, because if Mabel win today, that takes them 7 points clear. For Rob Roy.
I'm looking at the goals though. I mean, Mabel are -8, and Rob Roy are -10, so they're both in deficit. That's the bit that's getting me. Rob Roy have been so inconsistent. I mean, they did a really good result with Renfrew. They did about 4 weeks ago or so. Yeah. Mabel saying a new manager. I just think they cancel each other out.
I think recently Mabel have taken a couple of heavy defeats as well though. So I think Rob Roy will win today. I do.
You need to make a call, gentlemen.
Right, I'll go with Young Puck. Yeah,
that's fine.
Well, I'm going to go the same. I fancy Rob Roy today. I think that we'll hear from George once we properly get into the meat and bones of the games, and he does touch on the fact that they've had quite a few injuries. Sorry, no injuries. They've had a bit of a rebuild in a sense in the short period of time he's there. So that's something that is playing on my mind. So, and Rob Roy, good win against the Meda, a decent result against Talbot, 2-0 at Beechwood. I don't think there's any shame in that. It's a decent result. So I'm going to go the same. Scott, Muirkirk versus the Ants, our old side. What's your thoughts on it?
Muirkirk, can't see past Muirkirk again. It's just the Ants. Also, the good win last week, to be fair to them, a really good win. So that could really kickstart the new management and get them up and running. But Muirkirk are in a position where obviously got a couple of games in hand. They need to keep the momentum going if they want to push up and win that league. So it's a big team. It's a big game for both teams. One's at one end of the league, one's at the other end of the league. But I think if you're going to go way ahead, it's Muirkirk.
Yeah, and that's what I do. There's a 44 goal difference between the two teams. That's there for a reason.
Yeah.
Muirkirk, as we spoke to the manager a couple of weeks ago, a young team, inexperienced, no fear, at home. The Ants, a new manager coming in, trying to sort of suss out the lie of the land. Yeah, it's a Muirkirk win.
Did you see the goal from the Ants game?
Yeah.
That was, I don't mean to be not nice to the Maryhill goalkeeper, but that's a howler. But Mulder's got to score it, you know what I mean? So he does his job. He follows in, he gets it, and it's fine. But
see, come from a keeper's point of view, though, I would look at that and say that's harsh because the ball bounces off the ground, carries right off his face for a couple of yards. It's almost like a deflection for 3 yards. There's absolutely nothing he can do there.
Is that one of the ones where you see it's going to hit the ground? Do you judge it better?
I don't think so. I don't think so. See if the ball's coming at that pace and it's like 3-4 yards in front of you, you're already set to take the ball and where it's coming. If you're going down, for example, and it takes a goes up the way, he's maybe thinking, right, if it's going to hit my face, that's fine. I'm keeping the ball at the net. But for me, the reaction's poor.
I agree. I think he's
unlucky.
I don't think it's great for him, but he has stopped it from getting in.
I think he's unlucky.
And I think that you're right where the
striker's got to fall off.
The striker's done his job, right? Exactly, the defence, their nose switched on, and I think that I agree in a sense that I think there's a part to be played in both. Threave versus Greenock, I think this will be a really interesting game. Des, what's the thoughts on Threave Greenock?
I fancy Threave. I watched the Vic's game, watched a couple of the Greenock games, Ryan Cinnamon and Alan Frizzell, obviously sort of two of the bigger names down there. I just don't see it happening for Greenock. I know they look at the league position, I know that they're sitting up there in second, but they're 40 points after 19 games. They will get 3 in hand. They could potentially close that gap down to 3 points. Threave are at home. Yeah, I fancy Threave.
I fancy Threave as well today. I look at the table as well. These teams look as if they're very evenly matched.
Yeah.
But their goals for, their goals against, very, very similar. But obviously Threave will get 3 games in hand. So I think Threave.
I'm the same. I'm going to go for Threave. I think that we'll hear from Threave manager Danny later on in the show. They're kind of now at the stage where the cups are gone. They actually only have 3 midweek games, he was saying, so they don't have. That's not a massive amount of pressure on you in terms of fixture backlog, even though they're just over halfway. They've got 14 games remaining, but I just think that 3 games in hand, 6 points back. If they're serious about having a chance of winning the league, never mind just getting promoted, they have to win this today. If they don't win today, they won't win the league, in my eyes, unless the Thorn fell apart.
But this could be a pivotal weekend.
I think so. We're definitely getting to, just as we say that, we've got Neil from Threave can provide his updates today. That's smashing. Great to hear, Neil. Thanks. I think that Threave, if they're serious about winning the league, have to go and win this today. And I think that Greenock, on the flip side, if they're serious about winning the league, they have to go and win that. And we're at such a good, interesting stage. Final game, 4th division, Knightswood versus Easterhouse. Scott, what's the view?
I think Knightswood. I know they've had a wee slip up recently, but again, they've been excellent all season. And that type of result for their week they're losing, that could kick them on again. A wee wake up, wee reality check for them, not to get too comfortable. The league's not done. So Easterhouse obviously quite a far way back in terms of league position. I think obviously the top 2 places in that league for me are already decided.
I agree.
And I think it's a case of who can get third there. So I think Knightswood will get back in the horse again, 3 points.
Yeah, don't disagree. Nobody can expect a team to be on top form every week. They had a blip at Royal Albert last week. But that's acceptable. I do know that obviously the manager wasn't there last week. He had a pre-arranged holiday, so that was unavoidable. It was obviously.
So if you're listening to this, Michael, don't go to Dublin during the season when you're trying to win a league title. That's embarrassing behaviour.
One thing I know that Lewis Smith isn't available today, and he's obviously a big player. But they have the rest of the squad. We also Liam Coogan's is back, Dan Miller's back. We've got a fully fit squad. I expect Knightswood to take care of it.
I am doing this for 2 reasons. I think that it's going to be a really tough game for them. 3-2 in the reverse fixture last time. Easterhouse, from what we're hearing, Easterhouse should have been able to nick a draw at least. Yeah. But I also need to win today, right? And I appreciate this could have the adverse effect.
You need to win or both need to win.
Aye. It's a double dinner. I need to win. I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to go out there. And also if they draw, Port have got a big game against Royal Albert today, to be honest. So that's
it'll be
nice. That's not an easy game. I mean, Conor Whaley's done a really good job. He's added good players, a bit of quality there. Obviously sitting in 11th place, but that's a completely false position. If Royal Albert had this squad at the start of the season, they'd probably be sitting in the promotion spots or pushing for the promotion spots. So I'm going to go for a draw.
Games as well.
I know.
They've only played 15
I know.
games, so they can still be pushing for third if they go on a run from me.
I will see, to be honest, if they beat the Port today, right, they've beaten the two who are going up.
Exactly.
And that is the two who, in my opinion, are a bit ahead of everybody else in the league.
Yeah.
And I think that's also a confidence booster. Because you're looking, Easterhouse have lost the same amount of games as Royal Albert.
That's right.
If Royal Albert can throw off 4 or 5 wins together, which is possible, then they're back in the hunt, so it's not dead for them. So they've got a lot to play for. That's what we were talking about earlier. That's why it's so good just now. That's why it's so important for every result at this stage of the season. And you know that things can change weekly, but it's just so important. So, first game, East Kilbride, Gala. We're both going East Kilbride. Second game, Hurlford, Gartcairn. I've gone draw. You've gone Hurlford. Third game, Rob Roy versus Maple. We've both gone Rob Roy. Fourth game, Muirkirk versus the Ants. We've both gone Muirkirk. Fifth game, Threave versus Greenock. We've both gone Threave. And the final game, Knightswood and Easterhouse. I've gone draw. You've gone Knightswood. So we've got a potential.
It's all home wins we win for.
That's right. Aye.
Very true. Very true. Very true. So moving back on to the Lowland League, East Kilbride the last couple of weeks. Heavy defeat 4-1 against Cali Braves. Heavy defeat 5-1 against Celtic B. Celtic B are
Top league.
so it's, and obviously it's irrelevant. Celtic B can't go up, so it's Easterhouse even if they finish second. But knowing Mick and Si, they want to finish top of the tree to get, because it gives it a bit more credibility.
Mhm.
And they've got a couple of games in hand and only a point behind. So a win today puts them in a position where they could be top again. But that's 2 games. And I asked Mick, was he happy with the reaction? Because they beat Hearts B 3-2 during the week there. But at the same time, last Friday, Gala beat Hearts 3-4-0.
Right.
So that in itself is, and it's what Mick actually touches on it. Do you know what? I'll play what Mick says, but that shows that Gala are probably better than the league position shows. The amount of goals they scored as well is just, it's ridiculous. I think it's maybe an indicator that they're better than and they need to win, because Broomhill have got a couple of games in hand. If Broomhill win those games,
That's it.
then they could be getting relegated in the South League.
You just get the points difference. I mean, East Kilbride are on 60 points. Gallifrey are on 22. So it's a massive gap. And when you look at, yes, they're scoring 53 goals. I mean, who's that there? One Lithgow. They scored 52.
Sitting fourth. I know.
But losing 73 goals, they're minus 20. That's what's killing
So
them.
what's in the league? Is it? What's in the league? Be quite a distance.
No,
But five worse than Berwick in 15th place.
Yeah.
But Berwick have played similar games, so it's not much of a difference.
Yeah, they're 42 minus.
But look, I'm going to play Mick's interview and we'll see what he has to say on it. Sorry, guys. Mistake on my part. So I'll just play it through my phone then, because I made a mistake there. But look, I think that you've got to look at East Kilbride. We touched on it before. Does pressure play a part in this? Because you know Mick's desperate for the win. Like, they're desperate to get out of this league. Does that put added pressure on you?
I don't think it should. It'll obviously bring its pressure because that's the expectation.
Yeah.
Listen, it's not just coming from Mick, it'll be coming from the people behind the scenes and higher up than him. But you'd like to think with the quality of player they've got, these guys have been ex-seniors through the mill a lot of the time. That shouldn't, I'm not saying it doesn't, but that shouldn't feed through to the players. And if Mick, and we know him and Si have got their experience as well, they should be trying to alleviate that pressure off the players. Just guys, go out and do what you're
A
doing.
lot of experience as well. Look, we'll play Mick's interview and ask him if he was happy with the reaction against Hearts B.
I was disappointed with obviously the last 2 results. I was actually pretty happy with the last part of the Celtic performance, to be honest with you. Against Scardon and Braves, miles off the standards we've set since I've been at the club. But against Celtic for probably 60 minutes, so we've had a better side. Probably should have been 2 or 3 goals up, but we we went 2-1 down, I changed the shape, went a bit attacking, probably causes more problems than actually solutions. So, but no, delighted with the performance against Hearts. I mean, 2 poor goals to give away from our part, but in the main, again, totally dominated the game and still won the game a lot more comfortably. We're just going through a little bad habit just now, getting away cheap goals, unfortunately, but delighted with where we're at this moment in time.
He talks about being quite happy with the Celtic team, and then he touches on the Cali Braves game. I watched the highlights for the Cali Braves game, and I won't lie, some of the defending was really poor. Like, because I've watched a few East Kilbride games, obviously they played United, and I've watched some of the highlights and stuff, and there's a lot of quality there. I mean, they're a really nice football team. I watched them against Port as well, and see, to be honest, the Park really suited Port better that day. The Park was horrible, and East Kilbride couldn't play their free-flowing game. But even at that, they still tried to play. But against Cali Braves, defensively, they were poor. And I think the Hearts result is a good one that gets them back to winning ways. But that's 11 goals in 3 games.
Yeah.
You're looking at Gala. Gala beat Hearts 4-0. They got a 2-2 draw with Bo'ness. That's the last 2 games. Bo'ness are a decent side. They showed it as well last week, pushing Linlithgow. Obviously, the Derby game's a big factor, but they pushed Linlithgow a 3-2 really tight game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's definitely goals in this, and obviously we did this with Knightswood and Port. But I think there's goals in this game. I think we could be looking at a reasonable high-scoring game here.
I think you're right. I still can't get away from thinking that East Kilbride, they've got it all to play for. As you said, they're pushing. They'll know what to finish second, even though Celtic B kind of got, as you've mentioned, they want to win the league.
Mm-hmm.
They want to win the league. They're a point behind. So is that 2 games in hand they've got as well?
Yeah,
2 games in hand, a point behind.
Better goal difference.
100%. So for me, I still think East Kilbride, Gallifrey have also shown that they can compete with these teams to score 4 goals, and then their goals for is top 4 kind of standard. So it's as if they're a Jekyll Knight type team. They obviously go out and get a result, and people are pointing to saying, I'm not that surprised, but yeah, you wouldn't be surprised if they turned and took a slow one as well. So it is an interesting game for the neutral point of view, but I just, if I see East Kilbride dropping points today, I will be surprised.
It's all for East Kilbride. I mean, they're 2 games behind Celtic B with 1 point difference. So if they bring that back, they've got a better goal difference than Celtic as well.
Mm-hmm.
And as we've correctly said, Mick doesn't want to just get promoted.
Mm-hmm.
East Kilbride want to win the league. They want to have actually something tangible to show them that we are champions.
Yeah.
I think they've learned from last year as well, and obviously they were in flux and was out. So yeah, everything should be there for East Kilbride to win this league, and it's now up to them to go and get
What
it.
I would say as well is East Kilbride's got a hard running. I'm looking at it just now. Right, Gala today, right? That should take care of itself based on league positions, right? But then you've got Linlithgow twice.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Bo'ness. You've got Trinent. And East Kilbride, for what I've seen, East Kilbride struggle against Trinent. Mixed teams struggle against Trinent.
I watched them against Trinent at Christmas time, as I've said on here before.
Yeah.
A friend of mine was sponsoring the games. We were at it. And I didn't think Trinent were incredible. But just for some reason, it was a bogey team.
Mm-hmm.
East Kilbride just couldn't get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
See, the thing is, if you want to win a league, but
You have
you need to
to.
win these
I
games,
know.
do you know what I mean? So I understand the logic behind, obviously it's a hard run and it's that, but you need to win the games regardless. If you want to win a league, you need to beat these teams, or you need to be taking points off these teams. And unfortunately, it is as black and white as that.
No, I agree. But then you're looking at Gala. They've got a few teams who are down there with them. They've still got. They don't. I think they've got Broomhill playing. I'll check just now. They've got Cumbernauld Colts, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm making things up. They've got Cowdenbeath, Broxburn. Broxburn aren't in a great run of form just now.
No.
It almost feels like since Broxburn took the heavy defeat against Clydebank in the south, they've not quite been the same team. Then you've got University of Stirling, and they do have Broomhill second last game of the season, and Gretna 2008. I actually think that Gala would probably fancy their chances of being able to stay up. I know Broomhill have got games in hand, but see if you can beat Broomhill. I think 2 or 3 wins in that last run of games for Gala. I think that might keep them safe.
Yeah. The ones I'm surprised at is University of Stirling.
I know, sitting in 14th. I know.
Because they ordinarily the last couple of years been a pretty strong team. And pretty...
They must work. Speaking to Chris Geddes before, I spoke to him when they played Clydebank a couple of seasons ago and they beat Clydebank in the south. I think they're a team that run on cycles,
Of course,
and
got
it's
to be.
very much because you can only have the players for a couple of years, and they had a very, very good side that year where they nearly finished top.
Top.
They did a good run in the south. They did well in the Uni Cups. I think they won the Uni Cup.
Yeah.
And it's very much a cycle. You see that with Glasgow Uni as well.
Yeah.
That's very much why they sit where they sit.
That's it. For me, the bottom of the league, the Golden League, there's any team at the bottom there will still fancy their chance to stay up.
Mhm.
You know, there's nobody cut adrift. It's very, very tight. You're talking up to maybe what's that? Maybe University are still in at 31 points. I think they're safe.
Yeah.
But it depends what the teams underneath them are going to be doing. So you're probably talking for Berwick downwards. But
You're also looking at Cumbernauld Colts.
aye,
Since Doyley's been in there, they've had a pretty good run.
Mhm.
They've won quite a few games, picked up a few points. I think they pushed East Kilbride quite close recently as well. They're definitely showing that they've got enough about them. What I would say, Broomhill, I know the games in hand don't mean a great deal until you get the points, but they do have 2 or 3 games in hand, which maybe helps them. And but I genuinely think hands up here, I don't know a massive amount about the Lowland League. I said this last week, I caveated it, that we're still learning the Lowland League because we're very much focused on the West.
Mhm.
But for what I see when I do look is, I just don't think Broomhill have got enough. And they scored 29 goals. Other than Berwick Rangers, it's the least amount of goals they scored this
They've
season.
lost 61.
So you're less than a goal a game, and you're 2 and a bit goals conceded a game. It's definitely hard to see where they're going to pick up.
I don't see, personally, and it's not against them, Broomhill, I think their race is run.
Mhm.
I would say they're going to be bottom dogs.
So saying that, even looking at Cumbernauld Colts, they're very, very evenly matched as well in terms of goals against 61. Yes, they've scored, what's that, 5-7 more. But I suppose with Gallifreydine, you can see them getting results given they have scored 50 odd goals this season, so they'll still be confident. But
It looks to me as if it's coming down to a numbers game.
Mhm.
The amount of games played, the
Yeah.
amount of games still to go. I think that's what it's coming down to now. Cumbernauld Coach, you said, under Doyle, they're starting to pick up a wee bit of form. They're starting to be better than they were, and that's also why he's went in. Gallifreydine got a favourable sort of running compared to others, but yeah, unfortunately, I think Broomhill's the one that's going to be the expendables.
Well, Broomhill, looking at theirs, they actually beat Cumbernauld Colts in the middle of last month, 4-2, which I'm really impressed with. Apart from that, they've been losing most games other than beating Berwick 3-1. But you look at their run, they've got Bowness today, right, which is obviously it's a really tough game away as well.
Mhm.
But then they've got Berwick Rangers, then they've got Bowness again tough. University of Stirling, Trinent tough, East Stirling,
Mhm.
Gala, and then Civil Service Strollers. So I genuinely think that there's points to be picked up there. And do you know what's quite interesting? Obviously, you look at the Scottish Premier League where you have the split, which makes it so interesting if things are tight. It almost feels a bit split-like, even though it's just the way the fixtures have fallen there.
I think it all depends what happens round about them today as well.
Mhm.
But if Gallifreydine go and do the unthinkable and get 3 points in Broomhill, I mean, I think that's them going. I know it's really harsh and it's cutting them off, but I think on some of the fixtures, you're looking at it again, I spoke about on paper, the 2 Bowness games, they'll maybe struggle to get
Mhm.
something there.
Trinent.
They'll maybe struggle to get
Mhm.
something there. Gallifreydine, as we said, are scoring goals. Could they get something? So I think when you look at just, as you said, our knowledge isn't brilliant on a low league at the moment, so you're looking at league tables and things and looking at stats. Going with the stats, you're thinking they are going to struggle.
Yeah, I
And
know.
you talk about pressure earlier. It's an entirely different
Mm.
pressure to win the league than it is to try and stay in the league.
And at Broomhill, you don't have, like Gala, even though Gala's not a massive club, but Gala are an established club
Yeah.
in the area. They have fans that go and watch. Broomhill is very much parents and stuff like that of
Yeah.
players and friends, and it's not a well supported club, and that is obviously one of the things that was. I remember when the Lowland League was kind of formed, and that was one of the things we were talking about when we were BSC at the time.
Yeah.
That they're kind of a bit like some of our 4th division clubs where there's no a lot of fan base there,
No.
and it can be quite.
And they don't have their own permanent home as well.
No.
They've moved around as well, so that's difficult to
Aye,
attract players.
definitely, and it's money might not be quite what it was as well.
No.
But look, we're going to take a short break, and we will be right back. I need to count through these actually. 1, 2. So we'll be right back after these. Aye. So that's us. We've covered the East Kilbride and Gala game. We're going to move on to Hurlford and Cairn. Des, what is your views on it since we've got a wee bit more depth on it now?
I think this is really, really interesting. Cairn's run of form over the past 2 games has been nothing short of frightening.
Aye.
When you look at the quality that's at their disposal, I know they've lost obviously McShane and Aaron Black, etc. But they should still have enough in their locker not to be where they are in that position in the league. Yes, they had the points deduction, but the points deduction shouldn't reflect on the performances in the field.
No.
And the performance in the field, just you can't hide it. It's just not been good enough. Dropping points left, right, and centre, not picking up wins. It's not even not picking up wins. It's not picking up draws that can add a point. 1 point is better than 0 points.
Definitely.
So Hurlford, this is not a position that Dan and the team are used to being in. They're always sort of middle to top.
Yeah.
Recently, they've been playing a bit better, picking up a few points. They're at home. They're having to go for shots are right on their tail as well. So it's all heating up down there. There's a better race at the bottom of the league than there is at the top.
Aye.
For today's game, I'm expecting a Hurlford win.
Yeah, it's Tom McGarp Cairns from it. I wonder if mentally they've just, you wouldn't say giving up, that's probably harsh, you wouldn't really let any team, right? But again, taking the 15 points deduction, that's a bit of a dent to your confidence as well. And they're just toiling for me. It's like, you almost feel like you want them just to put their misery a wee bit. It's as if they're just toiling and toiling and toiling.
Watching a Olympian dog.
Aye, that's what it feels like a wee bit with them. But Hurlford, again, for me, they've got a good experience side as well. They've got 3 games in hand in Gartcairn. I think Gartcairn will obviously, I think Hurlford will be favourites to win this today, but Gartcairn for me have just been a massive disappointment this season.
We look at what's been going on about them as well. So I'd put it out on Twitter the other day there. 11 points from the last 36. So 11 points in 12 games. Now, I think it's one of those ones. See if you're saying that about Darvo, you nearly a point a game. It's not enough, but it's not terrible. But you're looking at a Gartcairn side who were sitting 5th, 6th in the league and have now become, through no fault of their own, or the players and management stuff, through no fault of their own, they are now in a relegation zone due to deduction. But they're playing like a team who deserve to be there. They are picking up so few points. And for what I heard during the week, Clydebank weren't great. Comfortable 3-1 win. I mean, that's to me, Clydebank are by far, not by far, but they're the best team in the league, and they're showing that.
They're 10 points ahead.
They're showing that they're the best team in the league, and they deserve to be where they are. But Gartcairn, I just feel like they're so. This could change. Like I said earlier, this could change. They could go and win 3 or 4-0 today against Hurlford, which they're capable of.
That wouldn't surprise me.
No, they could do that, and you're saying, wow, you're possibly looking at how fixtures play out. You could be looking, say, Pollock beat Darvel. You could say, well, they're 4 clear of Darvel. They're in a stronger position. They've overtaken Hurlford again. Hurlford are back in the relegation zone. But on the flip side, Hurlford win today. 6 points clear, 3 games in hand. Gartcairn only have 7 games left. That'll be 11 points in 39. Nothing suggests that they're good enough right now to go and make that difference up.
Not in their current form.
No. There's a couple of things to look at. Obviously, we spoke about the deduction they got as well, but there's been plenty of points after that. Flyfers used pointed out 11 in the last 36. Did you
36,
say that? Aye, so you can't use it as an excuse anymore. See, when you come to this end of the season, you can't keep saying, those 15 points. So what? Do you know that way? It's like, put it behind you and move on. Yeah. They strike me as a team at the moment feel a bit sorry for themselves.
It does appeal that way.
Aye, and I don't like saying that about any team, but it's been quite frustrating seeing the results and watching some performances this season, knowing the quality they've got. You're just like, what's
it's just such a drop off so quickly.
Massive from that deduction, as if they've just went, oh well, season's over.
It has definitely been like two seasons. It's just been pre-deduction, which was good. But sorry, I still think it probably should have been a bit better based on the resources, but it was acceptable. It was acceptable. And then you've got post-deduction, which is borderline shambolic for me.
It is a hit. Of course it's a hit.
Of course,
but at the same time, you've got to put it behind you and say, right, you know, we've lost 15 points, where's that going to put us, right, and then plan moving forward how we're going to get to this position. But I feel as if they've lost the 15 points and just been, oh well, this is the season done now kind of thing. We can't win the league, so that's it.
I thought bringing in Johnny Lyons would have done something for them as well.
I think so as well.
They're still bringing in, they're losing quality, but they're replacing them with quality as well.
Correct.
So what's going wrong there? Obviously, none of us are in the four walls of that dressing
No.
room.
It's just
But
frustrating.
it's just something you think you're watching from the outside and it's unexplainable.
Yeah, I know. But then you're seeing shots.
But
Shots are really turning on. I think that what they're done, because we talk about budgets a lot, right? Because it's relative.
Of course.
Their budget is very small,
Of course.
very small, right? But you look at 0-0 with Troon during the week, pretty solid result away to Troon on a Wednesday night. Beating Gartcairn 3-0 the week before, for me, that's a great result. Such a good result. 2 each with the Talbot after being 2-0 down, 2 late goals, shows a bit of character. Beath 2-0 the week before. I mean, that's 8 points in 4 games. That's the form you need if you're looking to stay up. And then you've not just got that right, but then you've got Darvel. Darvel have beaten Pollok 2-0 last week. The week before in the Cup, beat St Rocks, decent result. Then they beat Largs 2-1 midweek. Then they beat Arthurlie in the Cup. Granted, they lost to Cumnock the week before, but then beat Talbot the week before that. Get a draw with Glenafton. That's 3 tough places to go, and they've walked away with 4 points. I mean, they're showing fight as well that you don't see Gartcairn showing right now.
I think you look at the Shorts results particularly, they've been very, very competitive since the turn. They've lost a couple of games this turn year, don't get me wrong, but they've not been getting battered by anybody. It's been 1-0, 2-0. So even if you're that bottom part of the league and you're getting 1-0, 2-0, you're still maybe saying to boys, listen, we're no miles away, just keep plugging away at this. We've got games to come that we can pick points up. And I think it's so refreshing what they've done. They've not given up.
No.
And they've kept going.
It's like an escalator.
Brilliant.
You're in the shopping centre with your missus and you've got one going up and
Aye.
one going down at the
Aye.
same speed. And that's exactly what we're watching.
I know. And Shots have got Largs today, right? Which I think Largs are starting to pick up a wee bit of form. That deduction, I know it was only 3 points. I think that psychologically, which I suppose we can say for Gartcairn, which was a lot heavier, it does have an impact, like you said, Scott. But Largs are starting to come back a bit. It's going to be a tougher game. But I think we could be looking at Shots getting something, and it's at home as well.
So.
You maybe get a decent crowd turning out. The weather's nice today. It's again, it could be an important one. I think even a point for Shots today.
Shots would accept that before.
I think that even that in itself is a decent result. So I've spoke to Darren Henderson, Hurlford manager, during the week. Just asked him how preparations have been for the game. So this is what Darren had to say.
Just to let you know, preparations have been fine for training this week, mate. Lads have trained really well as normal. Don't normally have any issues with them at training. Probably haven't trained at the intensity that we normally would. That's just down to a few things. It's been light in numbers at the moment. Got 2 or 3 injuries, but it's probably the same as most clubs at this time of the season. There's been a lot of midweek games as well. Pick up knocks and bits and bobs with these games. Just need to be careful you don't need to pick up any more at training. Obviously, when the game's so close. So as far as that, mate, everything's been fine.
So he seems pretty happy with how things have been. No major injuries. Over a comment on the live stream for Ollie Jones. How you doing, mate? It's a former teammate of mine in a sense for Rob Roy. Thanks for commenting. If you want to send any comments, don't hesitate to get in touch with us. He's quite pleased in the sense that they don't have any injuries or anything like that getting into this game, which is vitally important. I've also asked him how important is the result in terms of relegation. Now, again, it's difficult for managers when we ask them questions like this because they don't want to say, oh, this is an absolute must win. If we don't win this, then it's the end of the world, which obviously it isn't. But this is what Hendo had to say on that.
Well, obviously it's a big game for both clubs on Saturday. We certainly understand the position we find ourselves in. It's certainly not ideal, and we need to be looking to be picking up 3 points, especially when we're at home. Obviously, both teams are in a battle at the wrong end of the table at the moment, so both of us will be desperate for the 3 points. But we've still got 11 games left. We've got 7 at home and 4 away. So still a lot of points to play for. We just need to stay focused and hopefully be playing well on Saturday and carrying a wee bit of luck, which you always need. It'll get us a valuable 3 points. We understand how difficult it's going to be. It's going to be really tough. Gartcairn will have a number of quality players that can cause not just us problems, but cause any team in the league problems. So we need to guard against that as well. But as I said, we're at home. Our home form normally has been decent. We've only managed to win 3 games this season. They've all been at home, so that's a bonus. And hopefully we can go into Saturday's game and try and get the 3 points and just open up a wee gap between us and Gartcairn. And just getting to that critical time of the season that every point's a prisoner. So we'll keep our fingers crossed and hopefully we come out of the game with 3 points on Saturday.
Very, very subdued in a sense, but what do you think he's saying to them today in that dressing room?
I think it said what I would think that you'll be saying. It's in your own hands now.
Mm-hmm.
He's done as much as he can do. He's prepared the players. What was quite telling me, the only 3 games they won this year have all been at home.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they've got to cling on to and saying, look, we're coming into our place. We're fighting for survival here. We're fighting to stay in this Premier League. We're fighting to keep the same budget for next year. We're fighting for a contract for next year.
Mm-hmm.
We want to be here.
Is Hendo fighting for his job?
I would like to think so. I think he's got
so.
enough. I'd say he's got enough interest in the bank. I think it would be unfair. As we said, like next week, no team can get through the whole season undefeated or having a blip. This is what the first blip that maybe Huddersfield had for a good number of years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to think that the committee, the job, if I was in the committee, it's Dan's job as long as he wants it.
Yeah. I think, listen, you can pick up that he is a wee bit subdued, as you said. Obviously, he doesn't want to be sitting in this position at this time of season. He's not really used to it. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're usually further up the table, Huddersfield. But I like what he commented on, in fact, that he's very well aware that Gartcairn can cause you problems as well. And I think that's a good message to get through to your team. Because we're all sitting here saying Gartcairn's form's been poor. And I think it's just a wee reminder that these team, we all know the form's been poor, but they're a team that can cause you problems.
That's
if you
quality
play
there.
the game with that attitude, you will find yourself become, 2-3 down pretty quickly. So I think his message to the players was pretty, let's just keep an eye on the ball here. But at home, as Des says, we should be expecting to go get 3 points. But I hope they do, in a sense, because I just feel that Dan's done a good job there over a number of years. And it'd be a shame to see them also go down.
Right, I think so as well. I'm asking the question. I don't believe that if he chose to stay, if they went down, then I think the committee would keep him, and I think that he's earned that because multiple Scottish Cup finals, multiple top 2 or 3 place finishes in the league. The team is aging, like I've said many times, and I think that's why you've had the issues with it. But I still think that he's got enough credit in the bank as well. Moving on to the First Division. So we've got Rob Roy and Mabel. Spoken to Mabel's new manager, George Wallace, this week. This has got it's a funny feeling for me with this. And this probably means that Mabel will win. But I feel quite confident in Rob Roy getting a win today. I just feel that George has went in really difficult circumstances. I don't think there's any hiding for that. It's a really tough situation he's walked into. A lot of players leaving because the money's disappeared, the boys not getting paid, which is completely their prerogative as well. You've signed a contract. If you're not getting your wages or you're not getting your full wage, then I think you're entitled to look to go elsewhere. And that's one of the things, and it's not George's fault. It's nothing to do with him. He's come in to try and fix the situation. But I think that Rob Roy are starting to look a bit better. They're starting to pick up some goals, some decent performances. I think we could be looking at I know I'll end up being wrong here. I think we could be looking at 2 or 3-0 for Rob Roy today.
I think Gibby, obviously first season up there, he's got a very young team.
Yeah.
So you're going to expect a mixture of results from a team who are just settling. And let's be honest, the first division's a really tough league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Possibly one of the toughest. Probably the toughest league.
Yeah.
Well, the fact that you're looking at potentially Kilbirnie in 9th place, we were talking before we came on air about playing Renfrew. If they beat Renfrew, they're in a very good shout at hunting for the promotion spots.
Yeah.
And look at what Rob Roy done up at Renfrew a couple of weeks ago
Mhm.
as well.
100%.
So I would like to see Rob Roy do well,
Mhm.
just because also I know Gibby. I think he's a brilliant guy and he's such a stalwart at this level of football. George has inherited obviously a pretty murky waters down
Mhm.
Evo, but he accepted it knowing what he was
What
going
was
into.
going to, yeah.
He knew what he was going into. I don't think this will be a defining moment for George this
No.
year. Next year
No.
is when he'll be judged. I also think next year will be when Rob Roy will be judged properly. But they need to get themselves out of the position they're in. And I anticipate Rob Roy should get the win.
It's important for them as well, with the Meda being in Scottish Cup action,
Mhm.
they can leapfrog them again.
Yeah.
Put
If,
pressure on them.
mhm.
Yeah.
So they're both sitting on 20 points with 18 games played. And even that in itself, more points than games played, it's a position where that's not the way it is in the Premier League.
No.
That the bottom teams are less points than they've played by quite a bit for some of them.
Yeah, they're not deficit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Whereas they've got more points. Even Mabel, I'd say normally 19 games, 24 points, you'd be thinking, right, we maybe need another 10 points for the next 10 games if we can get it, and we'll be safe.
Yeah.
That might not be the case this year.
No, I think obviously you took words out of the mouth of it, Irvine Meadow. I think both teams are looking at that.
Mhm.
Not just obviously Rob Roy being able to look from Mabel, but listen, we can put 7
Mhm,
points between
yeah.
us and Kirky Rob Roy if we
Yep.
get something here today. I think this is a must win for Rob Roy
Yep.
today because you cannot have that 7 point gap.
No.
That's 3 games you're looking to fall back, and games are running out.
And the Meda are in good form.
They are.
Mhm.
They are. I think obviously, as Des says, the Mabel situation was a bit messy. So any point he picks up at the moment, I think is a good point.
Yeah.
But as you said, I think the way it's looking now, 30 points is probably the target. And I mean, the many teams we've seen get around 30 points last couple of years, it's been.
And I don't think that'll be enough.
I think that would be what I'd be looking at personally. I wouldn't be saying it out loud, but in my own head, I think see if you can get 30 points.
Do,
you've got a
do
chance.
you think that
Rob
Rob Roy and the Meda will get less than 30 points?
I think one of them will.
You think so?
I think the one looking at the way the league is just now, I think the ones that are looking the most dangerous to drop back down is Villa Clyde, sitting with 21 games played and 24 points.
And that's Petershill, local derby today
think-
against them.
They will beat Petershill today. I'm putting it out there. I think they'll go.
And that's where it's, if they beat Petershill, 27 points, potentially they could be sitting in 9th place. I know they've got the games, they've only got 8 games left after today, but you would be thinking, is it going to be enough? So, again, it's you don't know.
It's the
I
draws.
know you're saying it's the draws.
It's the draws have killed it.
Absolutely. What's going to favour Villa Clyde today up at Fullerton, not far from here, is the narrow pitch
Aye.
and obviously the undulations on it and the B slope. Where Petershill used to playing at home on
Exactly.
that massive,
Yep.
astroturf, expansive,
Yeah.
proper roll. I don't know. I think Petershill may get
I
it.
think so.
Yeah, I think
That was
Petershill
in
will
my
get it.
thinking. Obviously, just the difference in pitch is not saying they just to Villa Clyde, not saying they're perhaps poor or anything like that, but you're looking obviously at Petershill Park it's like carpet, it's a great surface, it's big. Villa Clyde, a totally different game of football you're going to
Yeah.
play.
And Villa Clyde
They know that. Aye.
traditionally
Aye.
play to the pitch.
Mhm.
Exactly. So I'm thinking Petershill might struggle up there. And I've touched on it personally the last couple of weeks. I've been on how Petershill for me all seem to be that nearly team.
Yep.
They seem
Yep.
to be sitting third, fourth, fifth, and then they just miss out. And these are the type of games I think where they don't pick up the points and it kills them. But I might be wrong, But
That division's so difficult to call because we're even looking at the top, like Cowinan, who I think you almost exclude Arthurlie in a sense from the conversation in the context that I'm using here, right? Cowinan are sitting in 39 points with 10 games to go. Really good for me. I think it's a really impressive position to be in.
Yeah.
Renfrew, 3 points behind, but played a game more. Again, not the worst. If they can get a win today, it really keeps them going. Then you've got Glencairn, 34 points, 20 games played. Petershill 33 points, 20 games played. The Rock 33 points, 19 games played. Then we've got Artley 32 with 15. Thornleywood 31 with 18 played. Ardrossan 28 with 20. I think that at the top 8 or 9, Ardrossan's played too many games to be enough of a challenge.
Yep,
But-
they're up today, but
Again,
so
I win, I
53
know.
points, they're straight in again.
And then you've got Kilburney, 25 points, 17 games. But if they can beat Renfrew today and put 2 or 3 together, then they're in a position where they are right in the hunt.
yeah,
From maybe 3-4 weeks ago, you were looking at them maybe getting relegated.
yeah.
It's honestly, I think it's madness. But look, I've asked George how his time at Maple has been so far, and here's what he had to say about it.
Oh, how we doing? To answer your first one, how's it been so far at Maple? I'd say it's been a bit of a wrestle. I take our Harley in the team. Boys not happy. Boys not getting paid. So it's a bit of a mess. Managed to steady everything now. Books are all steady. No debts. Everything's all cleared out. Had to sell a few high-end players and stuff like that, which was always going to happen. And then stick with the boys that I've got, and then kind of speak to my mates at other teams and that to get other players in. So boys I've got to know are brilliant. They know what we need for them, but we're still wrestling about trying to get players every week and try and stay in the league for next season. That's the objective, obviously, but it's still a hard task. What might have been left with.
I think it's quite interesting. He's quite honest.
It's quite refreshing.
It's quite refreshing. He's very honest about the fact that they've had to sell big earners. I think a plus from what he said though is the debt's gone.
Yeah,
So that puts you in a good place where if you can get a bit of decent sponsorship, you can get the village involved.
Yeah.
Then you could start to look to build again.
You wonder why it got there in the first place.
I know.
That's the whole dilemma.
Mhm.
Because I take it the committee hasn't changed. I take it it's still the
As far as I'm aware, it's still. I've not heard anything
no.
other than that, but it's it's interesting where we've touched on it, the fact that it's probably not a great position he's come into.
No.
And I think he steadied the ship by the looks of it in terms of the committee and himself. They've managed to steady the finances. But what does that do behind the scenes as well for the players where guys weren't getting paid and he's had to try and rely on mates to get players in? It's not an ideal position.
Morale will dipped, obviously,
definitely.
amongst the squad. I mean, if Scott and I are turning up and we're getting X amount and it's not being paid, you're
No.
thinking, well, wait a minute, and you know the pal's playing somewhere else and
He's getting paid.
he's getting paid this or whatever. The bit I found strange there though was when Josh said he's relying on pals to get players in. Where's he getting the players from?
Mhm.
And because you're not going to go and leave a team that you're playing at, so he's obviously getting guys that are subs or squad players.
Mhm.
Not
With no
regulars,
money,
with
I
no
know.
money.
Mhm.
That's what I'm thinking is how tight is the squad there?
Yeah.
You're having to go and do that.
Mhm.
Because at this stage of the season, players aren't going to leave teams to go down to a relegation battle. You
No.
know what I mean? And see, in the flip side of it as well, I know there's a lot of negativity in terms of what he's picked up, but they're still in a half decent position where they're not sitting like Ashfield or Blantyre and it's,
No.
you know what, we're
They're
done.
cut adrift.
We're cut adrift games also. We've got something to play for. And that's the carrot he's got to dangle to the boys that are still there. But this season isn't finished.
No,
It's not a case of
definitely
coming
not.
in And just seeing the season out and see what your options are next season. And see the thing as well, not getting paid, right? It's not ideal, but for me, maybe a wee bit more old school, you're still there to do a job
Mhm.
and you're still committed to the team. You know there's problems behind the scenes. Just got on it.
Play for yourself and play for. In my opinion, if I was a manager, I'd be saying, look, you're playing for two things here.
Exactly.
You're playing for a contract here next year if you want to be part of it.
Mhm.
We're going to be having a new squad. That's right. And the other side is, well, you're playing for your next move.
That's it.
You're playing for your next move.
Do you think part of the issue though is in it? I had it, funnily enough, when I went to Cumnock, I got offered a certain amount of money to go, and then when I went, I remember I always remember quite well. We played against Luger in the League Cup, and I had a really good game. And they were like, the committee, Stevie Farrell was manager, he'd already told me he wanted to sign me. The committee were like, look, we've actually had some financial issues. We need you to take less money.
Mhm.
So I was like, right, all right, fine, that is what it is. I wanted to play for Cumnock, so I took the less money. Within a couple of weeks, the financial issues got a wee bit worse, and they were talking. We had to have a meeting with the players because we had to take a wage cut by the looks of it.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, I've gone from, I'll just be honest, right? So it was £75 a week I was offered. So this was 2009. £75 a week I was offered. And then got cut to £55, £60, something like that. And then they wanted me to take a further wage cut.
Mhm.
And I remember thinking, well, I'm travelling quite a far distance. I don't want to take, I've already taken £20 less than I was going to take. I don't really want to take any less. And that played a wee part for us. We got promoted that year, and Alan McCluskey came in and it kind of steadied the ship, and everything was fine, and everybody got their money that they were supposed to be getting. But it does play in your mind. You're sitting in dressing rooms and boys talk about it, and it does become an issue. Now, ultimately, you would like to say, like most of my later half of my juniors career, I played for nothing basically, or played for small amounts, so it really made no difference to me.
Yeah.
And you'll have been the same. But it does become an issue where you're sitting in dressing rooms and you get, every dressing room's got a couple of players who can be poison.
Yeah.
There's an ego there.
And they start saying like that money never made a huge difference to my life. That was basically my night out money when I played with Cumberland. That was all that was for me. I still stayed at home, you know what I mean? I was fine. But I don't know what Mabel were paying, but say it's boys are getting £100 a week, say for talking sake, right? That pays your car. So it becomes a big thing for you, and you start saying, well, I'm not happy with that, and you start becoming a bit poison, and that can feed into everything else.
You also need to look at the catchment area where the guys are travelling from.
Aye.
I would surmise that most of the guys are coming from the Ayrshire region.
You'd hope so.
So you still need to put petrol in your car to get there.
Yep.
That's it.
And get back.
That's
So
it.
while you're not looking to be making money from it, you're certainly not playing to be losing money.
No, definitely no.
Definitely not.
So that for me is quite an important thing. And it's just, it is, I think that it does become a problem with that. But then you look at Rob Roy, who a young squad, they seem to be turning things around. Gibby's an experienced manager. He's done so well. But I'm surprised they're in the position they're in. But again, they've had their issues, which has taken a bit of time to level out. And I think that we could see
I think
from.
I think the Rob Roy community and Rob Roy committee would have said, stay in the league, first year, inexperienced squad, new ground, new surroundings, new starting. After the turmoil that they've been through for the last few years, stay in the first division, which we've already said is probably the most difficult league there.
Yeah.
That, to me, that's success.
Well, let's see what George has to say on the 4-point gap that we've touched on that they have, and how important that could be for them.
Every game for now to the end of the season is a massive game for us. Doesn't matter who we're playing. Obviously, Rob Roy's below us now, but that doesn't mean it's an easy game, because they had a get big one against the Merda and stuff like that. So the tails will be up. We had a sale one at the weekend there, the 4-0. But boys just need to get everything they've got in the last 10, 12 games, I think it is. So every game's a cup final, as I say, and it definitely is for us to try and win a couple of games to stay in this league. And then at the end of the season, I can start building and all that for next year. But objective is two games, maybe 3-game win, and stay in the league. So massive game, is it?
That touches what you've said there, that the 2 or 3 games would be the 30 points, 33 points. So George has pretty much said he thinks that might be enough for them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of goes in line with what you've said yourself.
I think it can be dangerous putting targets. I know I'm kind of contradicting myself, but I would have that mindset as well. But there's pitfalls to it as well, because you can maybe hit that level, or you're not quite hitting that level, and you're bringing more pressure onto yourself as well. So I do think it's probably the way I would go, but there is slight pitfalls to that as well.
I wouldn't publicly announce to
No,
our players,
I wouldn't.
this is my target is 30 points, 40 points, etc. The way that I would always phrase it is, this quarter, we're needing X amount of points for this. Now that where we are at this moment in time, I'd be taking it game to game, saying you can't lose, get a point.
Yeah.
Aim for 3, take 1.
Yeah.
Aim for
Yeah,
3,
to get something.
take 1.
Yeah.
But look, we're going to be back right after these short breaks. Games are just kicking off as it stands right now. So we'll be back right after these.
Sourcing top quality commercial vehicles is what we do.
Something's happening on that.
And welcome back to Saturday Football Live. Remember, if you want to get us on WhatsApp, you can get us on 073 96717 412. That's 073 96717 412. Or you can get us on Instagram and X at SatFootballLive. So we're hearing some worrying news about Arthur LeBlanc, a potential issue with a player in the warm-up, and we're waiting on a medical assistance, an ambulance. So fingers crossed for whatever player it is, for whatever club involved, that it's not going to be anything too serious. But we're now getting into kick-off time for our games. So we're going to see how it goes, but we're going to move on to our second division, Muirkirk versus St Anthony's. What do we think, Des? I mean, the three of us we've all gone for Muirkirk, and I think on paper that's a pretty obvious decision, but the Ants getting a good win last week. Is that Martin Montgomery getting a wee upturn? Is that maybe what they've needed?
I think it's certainly what they needed. They also had to change manager because it wasn't happening.
No.
It wasn't happening for them. They went down the route of bringing in an under-20s manager who obviously has a really good grasp of knowledge at that level.
Yeah.
And again, like we said, he'll be assessing the players for next year to see who he's wanting to keep. I mean, was it a couple of weeks ago we were talking about it? The first thing he done was he brought in the blood test, the first day of training, body fats, etc. So he's obviously shown that he's very analytical. Also, winning last week 1-0 against Maryhill at home. Before that, I mean, against
that informed Maryhill side, which is quite an important one. Clean sheet as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the previous 3 games before it against Whitlets, Forth and Kilsyth, they lost. Mm-hmm. Is that because they were still maybe feeling a bit sorry for themselves, just getting to feel the things?
Mm-hmm.
Muirkirk, we've said it before, they're a young team on the rise. They probably have no fear, which is exactly what you want at this level. And if these guys can stay together, obviously last week John Lynch against Kilsyth, losing to Talbot. I mean, when would you ever think Muirkirk losing to Talbot is a bad result? That's a good result. It's a good result. Winning 4-0 against Craigmark, beating Bonneton, beating Maybole 3-1. They're scoring goals.
Mm-hmm.
So I can only see a Muirkirk win here.
No, I totally agree. Just getting back to the St Anthony's thing as well, what you just said, Paul, it was a good win against Maryhill because they were banging form the last couple of weeks. So that could do them well with their confidence, but also with the new managers coming in and Muirkirk being such a young team, could also play to his hands as well, because his knowledge in under-20s and things like that is
he was Muirkirk 20s. He was Ben 20s managers, and Ross Cusick was Ben's 20s managers and took the team. So he's replaced him. So he touches on it in the interview that we have with him, where they know each other, they know the players. Could that benefit them?
You think it is some form of positivity towards him, some positive towards him, that he knows the players and things there. But I think Muirkirk have just been a breath of fresh air this season. Nobody's seen this coming from Muirkirk. They've had some right good results as well. Even going back to the cup, putting Maybole out, that's a good result. I know. Maybole 3-1, it's a hard place to go.
Beating Paul.
Exactly.
Well, the thing is, we're talking about Maybole. Rob Roy have just taken the lead. 1-0 to Rob Roy against Maybole, so very early doors. That's a really good start for them. Sorry, Scott, as you were saying, didn't it?
No, it's just finishing up there. Just obviously Muirkirk have been in a great run of form. Not lost many goals in the league, not lost many games in the league. They're at home today as well. It'd be difficult to see past them. It really, really would. But again, you never know. The new manager bounce at St Anthony's. They're just got to try and stay in the league this season and build for next season. The goals in our featured fixtures have come in fast. Greenock have just taken the lead against Thrieve. So 1-0 to Greenock against Thrieve. That in itself's very interesting. I've asked Monty how his first couple of weeks have gone, because we touched on it a couple of weeks ago. We spoke about, like, obviously you mentioned the bleak test and all this stuff. We spoke about it and whether you agree or disagree whether it's the right thing. But I've asked Monty how he feels the first couple of weeks at his time at the Ants have gone.
Yeah, great. First couple of weeks have been really, really good. I think obviously, when being local and knowing the club as well as I did prior to coming in, that sort of made things that a bit easier. And you know, all the positive things I heard about the guys behind the scenes and how well they done things and you know how good people they are. As much as I sort of knew that already, it's just been proven over the last couple of weeks. The transition's just been so smooth. It's probably the best I could have asked for. In terms of, you know, what we've managed to do in the short time that we've been here so far, you know, we've managed to strengthen the squad, brought in a few players with me to give that wee sort of injection of youth, and then managed to bring in a couple of more experienced heads to really strengthen us up, which is what I felt we needed for what's going to be a tight running. The response I've had for the squad overall has been excellent. Numbers at training, brilliant. Standards really high. And I think overall, you know, taking all that into account, you know, as I said already, I really couldn't have asked for any more. In regards to how the first couple of games have went, you know, as you know, we had a wee bit of a baptism of fire away at Whitlets, less than a week into the job. Although with the result of our way that day, we came away from there feeling really positive. We took a lot of positives out of that performance, particularly in the second half. Where, to be honest, I thought we were excellent. You know, then we're a week down the line and we play Maryhill at home, and there's probably a wee bit more pressure, I think, on that one. You know, given that it's a home game and probably one that looked like a more winnable fixture on paper. And you know, we don't actually play anywhere near as well as we did the week before, but you know, we get the all-important win, and then on top of that, we keep what was turned out to be the team's first clean sheet of the season. And I think, you know, we all said and done, if you had offered us that, you know, at the start of the fortnight, then I think we would have been.
I think that's quite interesting what you're saying there. Is the win against Maryhill wasn't as good a performance. But I think sometimes that can be more important, where you go into the dressing room, you say, guys, that was not our best today, but we got the 3 points, and that's against the team who are in form, like we said. So I think that's quite important. Whereas Muirkirk, it's just a feeling that I've got. I feel like the Nielsen are the same, where it does feel pressure time for them now. It feels a wee bit different.
Mm-hmm. Is that not a sign of a good team though?
Definitely.
Not playing well and winning.
Yep.
That's all the old adage, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't play well, but you win. I think that the exuberance of youth is in Muirkirk's favour this year, because there is no expectation on them. Do you think anybody at this moment in time, at the start of the season, guys, you've got 10 games to go, you're in with a chance of winning this league, or you're in a chance of winning promotion? There is no pressure on them.
No.
The pressure comes from us.
Yeah,
us expecting it.
Absolutely.
No, I agree. We've got a goal, top of the first division. Kilwinning are 1-0 up against Cumbernauld. Good start for Kilwinning. It's a really good job Kev's doing there. Vale of Leven take the lead against Dorai, which I think is a really important goal for Vale of Leven. They're in a position where they would like to be higher up. They're only one spot above relegation zone. A win today could be massive for Vale of Leven there as well. That's the Arthurlie and Blantyre game being confirmed off. Right. So fingers crossed, like we said, fingers crossed that it's not something too serious and that definitely not. So our thoughts are with the player involved. Without meaning to be cynical here, that's another week Arthurlie have another game to play. Yeah, that adds a bit of pressure onto them. And I don't mean to say this in the same breath as a potential serious injury, but that's a bit more pressure on for them. Glenvale take the early lead against Kilsyth Athletic. That's a really big goal for me as well. Kilsyth, if you're looking at Greenock winning, are Kilsyth starting to throw it away a wee touch? Is that their youth and inexperience, despite them being together for quite a few years? Is that their inexperience? Yeah. I think Lugar could be delighted with their season this season. Yeah. First year in that division. I think it's a really, really good season so far for them. It was James Marks with a goal for Greenock. Slick is might be 74 years old, but he's still a very fit man who definitely can still score goals. In the fourth division, Saltcoats have taken the early lead against East Kilbride. Good goal for them there. It was Luke Barkley with a goal for Rob Roy, and we have a goal. Glencairn, 12 minutes, 1-0 up against Ashfield. We know Ashfield are gone. There's nothing. They're sitting 9 games left, 8 after today, 14 points back. It's too much for them. It's too much for them.
And they've got a new manager.
New manager, Peter Hill's just Maxie knows the game.
Maxie's back in there, isn't it?
So Maxie's the main man. They know the score there, so that's one of those ones. But it's interesting for Glencairn, keeping the pressure on the teams above them. Renfrew under a wee bit of pressure if the teams above them are winning as well. Granted, we're very early on in the day.
We were talking about Petershill,
Yeah.
being that team that's always there or thereabouts. I always think that with Glencairn.
You think
as well.
so? You've probably got a point. They were my tip for the start of the season as well.
I think they were most people's, to be honest with you. I thought Glencairn as well.
I always think they're the bridesmaid. They're just that close.
They're sitting in that position now, as you say, obviously where they find themselves in the league, they're in that kind of.
I know, as vast Monty, how preparations have been for this match, knowing they're playing one of the title contenders. So this is what he had to say on that.
Preparations have been really good. Obviously, with regards to the fixture itself, when we got the job, Muirkirk was obviously one that I looked for and one that jumped out at me, given the history between the personnel and the two teams. Obviously, Ross having come through the same route at Pembrokeshire under-20s before taking up the job at Muirkirk, along with the majority of the players there. Obviously, Ross is a friend of mine, and I know the boys really, really well. So it was obviously one that I was looking forward to, and I think that fact obviously adds that wee bit of extra spice to the occasion as well. It's very much I think a wee bit of a reunion, so to speak, where I think the entire coaching staffs at both teams, having came from New Tinto Park, as well as a large number of the players. As far as what Ross has done, as I say, he's come through that same route as me, and I think deserves massive credit for what he's managed to achieve in 2 seasons down there, taking that group of young players and basically proving to a lot of people what can be achieved if you're willing to give these young players a chance, and that's obviously inspirational and a wee bit of a benchmark for guys like myself and other guys that are coming through a similar sort of management pathway, so to speak, is what's starting to happen these days in the west of Scotland. I think in terms of the preparation for the actual match itself, we're prepared for it in the same way that we would at any other game. We're under no illusions as to how difficult it's going to be down there. And I think though you can take a wee bit of sort of inspiration for having went down and sort of managed to compete with Whitlets, who are obviously going for the title as well alongside Muirkirk. So we're well aware that the circumstances are going to be a wee bit different, in terms of the surface and the pitch being a wee bit tighter, and that'll present a different set of challenges. But we've been preparing all week, and training's been good, and with the exception of 1 or 2 players that are unavailable due to injury or illness, we've got a very, very large pool of players to pick for. So we're going down there to get a good account of ourselves, and the plan is to try and bring something back up the road. I've said on a number of occasions already that we believe that on a day we can mix it up with any team in the league. I genuinely believe that the quality we've got in the squad, the boys probably should be sitting higher on the table than what they are at the moment, and the plan is very much to try and prove that to be the case over the remain.
We've briefly touched on it there, and Monty touches on it, how they know each other, they know the players. How important do you think that'll be, Des?
I think it'll be very important. As you said, they've both come through the same pathway. They've both been involved with the same group of players at both teams. It's really just down to how Monty decides to play against Muirkirk and who he identifies as being the potential match winners and the guys who are going to have the biggest influence on it. But again, that's up to Muirkirk to decide that they need to step on top of it. I know we're talking potentially cancelling each other out. I just think that the run and the momentum is with Muirkirk. But the biggest thing is, the St Anthony's players if St Anthony's going to get anything from this, whether it be a draw or a win, it's going to have to be a well-earned and well-drilled win by Monty, identifying utilising their strengths and trying to optimise the misses of Muirkirk. So it's potentially a battle of wills between the two managers.
I think it's good in terms that will help him and how he's going to approach the game, because he's got that knowledge of the Muirkirk. But it all comes down to personnel as well. It all comes down to personnel. Who have you got available? Does that suit how you're going to approach this game as well? But I think it does help knowing who you're up against and knowing them so well, how you want to approach it. But again, you look at it, I can't see past Muirkirk again. Southampton's got a tough run of fixtures. The next 5 games are away from home.
And sometimes I feel at that level, prior knowledge, sometimes do you focus too much on the opposing team instead of just think, because particularly at this level, a lot of times, if you just go and play your game and you have your system and your style, then it's generally enough for me, you know what I mean? So it's
You don't need to overcomplicate.
no, definitely not. Couple of goals coming in. Toby's just updated us on the chat. So if you want to get onto the chat on the live stream, don't hesitate. Any questions you want to ask us, just give us a shout. Or if you want to get us on WhatsApp, it's 07396717412. That's 07396717412. And just give us a shout. But Toby's just updated us. The Thorn are 1-0 up against Fanat. The Thorn they're like a juggernaut. They just keep going and keep going. We're going to move on to our featured fixture in the 3rd division, which we've obviously touched on with Slick getting the goal for Greenock, who are 1-0 up against Threave, which is a massive, massive win for me. Spoke to Danny Dunlanson, the Threave manager, and we've both, the three of us have tipped the Threave win for this game, and it's going to be quite an interesting one. But I think that Greenock taking the lead is really important because they don't lose many goals. So I think that this could be a really, really important one. It's going to be really tough for Threave to pull this back.
Greenock have the best goals against record in the league. They've only conceded 19 goals in 19 games. So
it's impressive at this level.
Yeah, really impressive. But Threave have scored 51.
Yeah.
And they've only played 16 games. So I still think there's goals in this.
I agree. I think even if Threave were to lose today, it's still no over for them in terms, as I said, they're looking really like their 3rd spot in the in. And I don't think it's over for them. They've still got 3 games in hand on Ardere, for example. So, but obviously their target's just get as high as they can in the league. But if you're looking at taking the 2nd position away and looking into 3rd spot, then I don't think it's the end of the world. But given it at home, it would be a sore one.
No, definitely. Adam Fordy's just put Pollock up against Darvo, a really important goal in the relegation battle there.
Cool.
Lanark have gone 1-0 up against Cali Locals. Could be a really important one in that 2nd division promotion hunt there. We've also got a postponement in the Lone League. Albion Rovers are disappointed to confirm that today's game has been postponed. No reason why, but their game against Linlithgow, which I think would have been a cracker, 6th and 4th respectively, playing against each other. So we'll see if we can find any other news at why that game has been postponed. We were talking before we came on the show about the Talbot and how we feel that they've had too many draws, but their form's improving. And I've mentioned it the last couple of weeks, Kyle McAvoy, Connor Boyd scoring lots of goals. Kyle McAvoy has just helped the Talbot take the lead. They're 1-0 up against Benburb. So you're looking in that Premier League just now. Gartcairn, Shotts and Hurlford all sitting on 1 point from today's games. Darvo losing, Benburb losing, Cumnock playing Clydebank 2:30 kickoff, so we're nearly underway there as well. It's it could be a bad day for Darvo if they don't turn this around. And Pollock, so hit and miss Pollock. They seem to be able to, apologies if you can hear the Macarena in the background. There's and Macy's 8th birthday party is happening in the community centre right now. Happy birthday to young Macy. But I think that it's no looking great for Darvo just now. But Benburb getting sucked right back in it. But back onto the 3rd division as we're talking about. I've asked, because we mentioned as well at the top of the show how Threave have got the 14 remaining fixtures, so pretty much half of the league season to play, and we're sitting close to the middle of March now, so there's not a huge amount of time to play. I think we've got 11 weekends left of the league. So I've asked Danny how he feels that his squad will deal with the amount of games remaining. That's what he had to say.
Yeah, last week was us just over the halfway point in the league. Such has played 16 with 14 games left. Obviously, a lot of games in hand, but we only have 3 midweek games scheduled, so it's not going to be a case of playing Saturday, Wednesday, right through from now until the end of the season. So that can only help us. Obviously, we need to have a wee bit of luck with injuries and suspensions, and at part-time football, obviously, boys have other activities planned, like stag do's, weddings, etc. So if we're lucky and we avoid injuries, suspensions, etc., I don't see it being a massive issue. Sometimes it can work the opposite. You can get a wee bit of momentum from just playing games rather than training. So we'll try and use it as a positive. And like I say, if we can get a bit of momentum, get a few wins under our belt in a row, I think we'll be okay with the game.
I think that's a good point. It's a bit of momentum under their belt where, even though they've only lost 4 games, but I do feel like they get 2 and 3 wins and then they drop points and then they get 2 and 3 wins. And I think, reading between the lines, I think maybe that's what he's saying. And obviously, as well, with injuries, he says if we can get fortunate with injuries, which part-time football, guys rushing for the work, particularly for the amount of travelling they'll need to do, I think it's something that is important. But it's got a goal coming in there. Saltcoats are now 2-0 up against East Kilbride. I think that Stevie Wilson's doing a really good job there. I think that considering where they've been the last few years, and I understand they're still sitting in 12th place just now. Potentially, well, they could now. There are too many goals behind East Kilbride to leapfrog them, but they're sitting in 12th place. I think that's signs of improvement. They've also only lost half their games.
Yeah,
that's definitely signs of improvement there.
Massive signs of improvement because the start of the season was horrific.
Mhm.
Saltcoats were looking as if they were potentially going to the BSC. In the league, they were getting some real heavy results. But since season, and I think it's been a massive change. It's been really positive. They started picking up results as well. I think they've conceded 51 goals, which is one of the highest, if not the highest, in the league. But I think that goes down to the start of the season. They had to slowly started picking it up. So partly also BSC, obviously. You're looking at obviously they scored over 120.
I know.
Wow.
It's painful.
It's not even funny. I think just like unbelievable.
Before we move back onto the 3rd division, sorry, Des, Troon are 2-0 up against Beath, which we will touch on. Beath, obviously, with Chris Strain stepping down. In our featured fixture, Shots have just taken the lead against Largs. That's 1-0 to Shots. Taylor Evans with the goal there. They've really done a good number just now. It's really impressive. Just had a message in from Gary. Thorn will win the 3rd division. They've been fantastic all season. Shows outstanding. Great work, guys. Thank you very much, Gary, for listening. If there's anybody else wants to get in touch with us, we'll read out your questions or all your comments on 07396 717 412. That's 07396 717 412. Or you can fire a wee question onto the live on YouTube. And thanks to everybody who's watching us on that just now. Back to it. Danny, I asked him, Greenock beat Threave 6-0 at Ravenscraig earlier in the season, which is a massive, that's a huge result.
Yeah.
And no result you'd expect for Threave. I'm not massively shocked that Greenock beat them at home, because we comment regularly how Threave don't travel particularly well. But the man are 6-0 and then now 1-0 up. Maybe they've got their number. So I've asked Danny what his thoughts were on that last game against Greenock, but on the fact that their home form's been pretty solid. So here's what he had to say. Oh, my apologies, I've hit the button there. I need to stop doing that. We'll get that back in a wee second. But 6-0, that's a result that shocks you. And the home form, like I said, is good. But would you be a bit concerned that you're 1-0 doing so early on against the team who have beaten you 6-0 early in the season?
Nah, I don't think that should come into it. Everybody can get a one-off performance. Of course. As we said, Royal Albert beating Knightswood last week. Nobody expected that. Nobody expected Greenock to go and hit 6 against Threave. They've mentioned it. They don't travel particularly well, but their home form is very good.
Yeah.
See if you're going to lose a goal. you're better losing it early.
Yeah.
It gives you that amount of time then to get regroup back into it. So yeah, I don't think it's panic stations at all.
Well, let's see what he had to say now that I've been able to fix my mistake. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously Greenock, they beat us 6-0 in the away game, which was fully deserved. On the day they were by far the better team. It was the week before we played Stranraer in the Scottish Cup, which for us was a massive game. So we're hoping it was just a case of the boys took their eye off the game they were actually playing, and we're looking ahead to the big one the week after, taking nothing away from Greenock. Obviously, like I say, they deserved the win. But anyone coming to Meadow, we're playing at home. We're confident that we can get a result. Our form recently it's been better. It's picked up. We were on a bit of a roller coaster there. We'd won 6, lost 6 of 12. We've managed to get 2 wins in a row, so that gives us confidence going into this game. And like we say, we're at home. We fancy ourselves against anybody.
They definitely do fancy himself. I don't know if you'd heard Des in the background there. It is absolutely sweltering in here. It is roasting. I think I honestly feel I'm going to start down at my pants. Is that one? Since well, I can put it on, but I apologise to anybody listening if you hear the air conditioning, because as you can see, if you're watching this, the two of them are in hoodies. I don't know what they're thinking. I've got a nice wee light Nike t-shirt on, but
All other manufacturers.
but so apologies if you hear the aircon, but I think that we're going to pass it if we don't have it on. That's basically just what we were talking about there with Danny saying that, is the fact that he said it's been a bit of a roller coaster, and he touched on as well the week after they played Greenock and lost, they had Stranraer, so they've obviously done an eye on that game, and I think that's something that you need to take into account as well. But it's going to be a tough one for them today, because like we've said, Greenock don't lose many goals, and after being 1 up early on, do you see them? It's hard to see how many goals they could lose for Threave to go and get a win here.
I'm not losing heart. I'm sticking with my early on prediction. They lost that game. You heard Danny saying they maybe take their eye off the prize the game the following week. And as I said a moment ago, if you're going to lose a goal, lose it early, because you would then get time to recoup it.
Definitely.
Plenty of time left.
Just as we go to a break, we've got Thorn have doubled the lead, 2-0 up, but Kilsyth in that division as well have just equalised, so they have pulled a goal back. That again keeps it very, very interesting for everybody in that league, because it's such a tight one. But look, we're going to be back right after these. Glasgow Uni. It's just, I'm just so glad we got out here, Conan. I won't lie to you, it's been very, very tough. But yep, just for people on the live stream, sorry, we're a wee bit slow to get this back up. But Threave have equalised against Greenock, so very interesting. Just after Brian Tucker, a fellow teammate of my own, who horrible person, left the port and went to Greenock, made a good save. Tucker's a good goalkeeper. But that's quite an interesting one. So we're going to move on to the 4th division between Knightswood and Easterhouse. No score as of yet in that game, or no score I've heard. Pollock have just doubled the lead. 2-0 to Pollock against Darvo.
I think that's it for Darvo.
It is a sore one for them there.
And I spoke to Maxi this morning, and he was 5 men down in his squad.
Yeah.
So that makes it even all more impressive. I know Maxi working under really, really tight constraints at Pollock just now. So he's done a wonderful job.
Largs pull a goal back against Shots. David Ramsey with a goal. Ramsey's always good for a goal. He seems to pop up every now and again, getting himself on a score sheet. Still 0-0 with the Ants and Muirkirk. 30 minutes gone. So 4th division, the best division in the world. Knightswood and Easterhouse. We've tipped Easterhouse for this one. For me is you tipped Knightswood. I've gone for the draw. As it stands, I'm not hearing anything different. But
Well, I'm just getting the update from the Knightswood game, saying it's a very itchy-peachy first 25 minutes. Knightswood have hit the bar and also missed 2 1v1 chances.
how long can you sustain that, or do you lose a goal yourself? And
Come back on.
no, exactly. So Knightswood, they've been so impressive this season, and I don't think anybody expected this at the start of the season. I think obviously circumstances have changed. They've maybe had a wee bit of investment. They've been able to bring in some quality players. I don't think anybody expected Knightswood to go 19 games without losing a game in the league, which in such a competitive league where you look at your top 7 sides are all so competitive, and then you throw Royal Albert into that for me as well. It's been such an impressive season for them.
I think the Royal Albert defeat was the one that I would be shocked at, considering also they went to the port before, which is the one that everybody was looking at if there was going to be something going there. But no, you've got to give them all the credit in the world, going 19 games undefeated. I know people say they may have a better budget than other teams.
You still need to win, I know.
You can only play the teams that are in front of you. Their team today, out with obviously the main striker, Darren Miller's back, Liam Coogan's is back. They're a very settled and very organised 12 team. So I don't think that one blip last week will make any dent in the water that you wouldn't want to hear from.
What I will say about Easterhouse, I'm just looking at their fixtures and results here. They've actually dropped quite a lot of points in the last kind of 8-9 games. Looking at there, they've also had a defeat against Rossvale, they've had a defeat against West Park, they dropped points last week against Giffnock. So
East Kilbride,
they've also dropped points there. They got a good one against Eglinton, but I'm sure they were 2-0 down at one point as well. Cup results, they got beat off Kilburn. So I kind of see past Knightswood because I don't think Easterhouse form great at the moment.
I think Easterhouse, they narrowly lost to Knightswood earlier in the season. They got a draw against Port Glasgow. I think that there may be a side that turn up in the big games, and I agree with you. That maybe gets you a promotion, which they're saying. They need to be very careful about Kello as well. Kello are right on their heels, and Kello had that mid-season blip, the great start mid-season blip, and now they're turning it around. And I think
you can't base your season against the bigger teams.
No.
You've got to, the top teams and the bottom teams generally take care of themselves. You've got to really be competitive against the ones that are around you, and that seems to be the pattern that's going down.
So the West Park around about them, Rossvale around about them, 2 games have lost. So for me, that's points they should be picking up.
Aye, I would agree. I spoke to Andy Souter, Easterhouse manager. I asked him how confidence is going into the match after winning 4 of the last 5 games, and that I think that's the reason that Easterhouse are in the promotion spots, because they do have that bit of inconsistency, but they do have enough quality where they can put 12 points, 15 out of 18 together, and in that league, that's enough to get you into that top bracket. So I've asked Andy how he feels after the 4 or 5 games and how he feels the form is.
Guys, you look forward to the game on Saturday? Club's in a situation that they've never found themselves in, that we're going into the last 10 games and we've still got a lot to play for. You know, going into it, we've won our last 5, we've won 3, drawn 1, lost 1. So, you know, we picked up a decent number of points over them 5 games, and on another day it could have probably been some more. Knightswood, I don't really think the Royal Albert game will affect them too much. They'll still come into the game super confident. They've won a lot of games of football. Their consistency has been there for everyone to see. So I'm sure they'll be looking to put that game right, and it probably makes it a more challenging game for us because they'll want to correct that. But from our point of view, we played them last time. We felt we probably deserved something in the game. Didn't quite get that. So boys are looking to kind of put that right and go and try and pick up what inevitably could be a really important 3 points for Mendes.
Well, he's just touching on he would want to go and put that right, but Des, you've just shown us 1-0 Knightswood could be massive. Murray Thompson, Murray, thanks for putting in your comment. It is 1-0 to Whitlets. Whitlets have taken the lead there in the 2nd division. That's going to be difficult for Easterhouse to pull that back. I appreciate it's very early and only one chance. It can take a second to score, but that's an important goal. And I think that this is a big game in terms of Knightswood's season. If they can keep it 4 points for another 3 or 4 games against the Port, then it becomes so difficult because they've only dropped points in 3 or 20 games, potentially 3 in 21 today. So I think it's a really important goal.
I can see Knightswood scoring a few more now. We've been looking at the results there that the Easterhouse have had over the past weeks. The inconsistency. Knightswood are at home. They've obviously got a wee bit of fire in their belly after last week, so a shock to them. I can see a few more goals.
We've got an important goal in the relegation zone in the 3rd division. Cairo Crawford has made it 1-0 to Irvine Vicks against Wishaw. We know Wishaw are gone. They've only picked up 7 points. I'm actually going to need to look at it again because it's been a while since I've looked, but they have won 1 league game and potentially. So they've won something like 8 league games out of the last 50. Right, 51, something like that.
They've only won 1 game this season.
Do you know what I will say though? See, since who left it again?
Aaron Conley.
See, since he's left, right, and some of the other guys came in, they've actually been so much more competitive. But the one, who was it? The beat?
I think with Azza, the issue Azza has, and it's something that me and him have spoken about, is he is very much similar to Josh in a sense at Rossvale. He's very much free flowing football. Yeah. They don't have the team for that, which sometimes you just need to reassess. And that's not a criticism of Azza, because I think if Azza had a good team on a good park, it would be. We've got a few important ones in the Premier League. Talbot have doubled the lead 2-0 against Benburb. Darvel pull one back against Pollock, so now 2-1. Largs go 2-1 up against Shotts. Hurlford have a penalty against Gartcairn, and based off of how it sounded on Twitter, sounded like Gartcairn were on top, a few good chances. Troon 3-0 up against Beath. So it was Jason Naismith with a goal for Darvel, and Kieran McVie, who scored the second for Pollock, has been sent off. Pollock down to 10 men. That makes it a bit more interesting. Troon 3-0 up against Beath, as I just said. Kilbirnie 1-0 up against Renfrew. It's an interesting one there. That's a very interesting one. Lanark 2-0 up. Hurlford missed a penalty against Gartcairn, a massive one. Kieran Hughes saves Jack Whittaker's penalty. That could be huge. That could be a real interesting one. And it's Sam McLoy with the goal for Kilbirnie. Greenock have tweeted, Threave close to taking the lead. Clever footwork and a shot swerves past the left-hand post, so they putting a bit of pressure on them. So we've touched at length on how important it would be for Easterhouse to get the win. So let's hear what Andy had to say on the 3 points and trying to close any gap on the teams above, but also looking over the shoulder against Kello to see if they can get themselves ahead.
Regarding the outcome of the game, I'd be lying to say that the 3 points aren't important. You know, it's super tight at the top. You know, the top end with 4 or 5 teams still in the hunt for that sort of promotion spot. What I would say is, you know, as important it is, and we all know that, it's not the end. You know, end of it. If we don't pick up 3, there's There's still 30 points to play for. We picked up a total of 38 so far. So, you know, Saturday won't define it, but we know the importance of it, and we know if we can win it, it really puts us in a good position going forward. So we were trying our best to make sure we get that outcome, to put the pressure on the teams around us. But win, lose or draw, there'll still be a lot to play for after the game.
Yeah, it's right. There's losing today, particularly against Knightswood, is really not the end of the world.
No.
But again, it is about putting pressure on the teams about them. Saltcoat's now gone 3-0 up against East Kilbride. That's a really, really good result there. 4-0 to the Thorn. Toby's just put us a wee update on that there. But I think that you're looking at Easterhouse. They really need to try and get something, even a point, which could be an interesting one. I don't know if I just said this at the break or if I'd actually said it, but Craig Mark have taken the lead. I know Kerr Rooney with a goal there. Craig Mark making a bit of moves. They've been bringing in quite a few new players in the last week or two. So for Craig Mark, I know they're gone, they're relegated regardless. But beating Lark Hall at this time again away, I think it's really good, and they've been a bit closer the last few weeks. So that's a good one for them there.
Des touched on it a couple of weeks ago about how inconsistent Lark Hall are.
Mm-hmm.
It was when they beat Lanark.
Yeah.
Kind of tipped Lanark, and I was thinking, Lanark, and you were saying, no, Lark Hall, especially at home, but away from home, they seem to be a bit iffy and they're really inconsistent, and that just sums it up there. But that's a result that it's a bit of a shock.
They've just been a really inconsistent, as the word. I would probably say, from that, really frustrating.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what's going to turn up.
It seems as if they can't get around the results together though. It's like bi-weekly they're dropping points, and then they'll go pull one out against Lanark, and you think they're right back in the promotion hunt. And then
they're so inconsistent.
They must be dead frustrating.
They're definitely so inconsistent. I mean, they're still in a position where if they could turn this around today, takes them to 34 points. Lanark obviously look like they could be winning as well, but 2 games in hand, they're 8 points back. When that becomes 2 points, it is a different matter. We're now getting to the stage where we're getting some half-time results in, but on 43 minutes, Mabel have just pulled one back against Rob Roy. Quite an interesting goal in that game there. But I think that you're looking at that second division. Whitlett's winning just now. Lanark winning, putting a bit of pressure on Muirkirk. Muirkirk have the 3 games in hand. As it stands, Muirkirk are on 42 points. Lanark are on 42 points. But if Muirkirk are going through a wee dip, then those 3 games, the good credit can get used up pretty quickly there.
Yeah, and you're still obviously Nielsen only 1 point ahead at the top with 1 game in hand. But the game in hand doesn't mean 3 points.
No.
So, yeah, very, very tight. All to play for.
I think for me in that league, if we've been disrespectful to other teams, I think the top 3 for me is already settled. But it's just who's going to finish.
Which one now?
I think Muirkirk, Whitletts and Neilston have been considerably ahead of teams round about. Obviously, Neilston lost points against Lanark and Lark Hall, but on the whole, they've been really consistent. You're looking at the teams behind them. But Lanark have lost 5, Lark Hall have lost 7, Forsyth lost 6. But yet Neilston have only lost to 4, and Muirkirk have only lost to 2. So Whitletts are scoring goals for fun as well. So
definitely.
I think,
well, we're going to go to our good colleague Johnny Bailey in a wee second. He's at the Whitletts Cambuslang game. Cambuslang are also in a position where they're putting themselves into a bit of bother. That's they've got an experienced squad, but a couple of results go against them because I think. Apologies if I've misread it. I think Les Mehigo are winning at the moment as well. So Les Mehigo win takes them above Cambuslang with games in hand. The Ants, if they can get a draw here, only go a point behind Cambuslang, so it is quite interesting. But we'll give Johnny a call and see how things have been first half Whitletts Cambuslang. Hi Johnny, same as last week, mate. We can we'll have to talk and then we'll put the mic down when you need to talk. But 1-0 to Whitletts against Cambuslang. How's it been?
There's not been much in the way of action, to be fair. It's been kind of eeks and peaks. I'll tell you what though, it's been feisty. It's been a good old fashioned junior game. There's been tackles flying in the middle of the park, managers arguing with each other, referee getting involved, elbows, everything. It's been good. It's been good to watch. Whitletts, like I said, I don't think there's been any real clear-cut chances apart from Whitletts scoring for a corner after about 40 minutes. Just won the first ball, and then Connor Year just nods in for 2 yards out in the second ball. So Cambuslang will be disappointed to lose a goal like that in a game that they're definitely in.
Do you think that is intentional in the part of Cambuslang? Because we were just talking about it there, how Cambuslang, if they lose this, they're putting themselves in quite a bit of bother in the relegation hunt.
I think Paul would probably be happy enough with the performance of the team so far. I think he'll be really disappointed to lose the goal that he's lost. But I would say on the balance, they've stopped Whitlett's playing. There's been no real kind of fluency to their game or anything like that. So I would say, apart from losing the goal, I would say Paul would be probably the happier manager of the two, but really disappointed to lose a poor goal.
Do you think that there's anything to show that Whitletts can go and extend the lead? I know you're saying there's not much happening, but do you think that Whitletts could go and extend it, or do you think that you're going to continue to see quite a feisty, scrappy game?
It'll be interesting if Whitletts need to improve their quality on the ball, but I think that's maybe credit to Cambuslang. They'll give them any time to settle and really being in their faces and stuff like that. So I think Graham will be saying to them at half time that they need to use the ball better, probably move it a bit quicker, and try and exploit the kind of differences in the team, because I would say they'll probably get the better team, but they'll just probably no showed it in the first half to the extent that they would like.
No worries, Johnny. We'll let you go, mate. Keep us updated with any changes in the game. And for everybody listening, go and check out Johnny's show from last week. His first one did a fantastic job. So WSFL Weekly on Twitter, and just listen to what Johnny has to say. Johnny, who's your guest this week?
This week we've got Girvan manager Dean Keenan on, and as you said, we'll be live on YouTube, hopefully for the first time on Sunday night, 7 o'clock. So good if people are listening can join in and watch along and put any questions to us that they might want to talk about the games for the weekend.
Brilliant, Johnny. We'll catch up with you soon, mate. Cheers. We're going to try and go to Gary Muir at Rob Roy and Mabel. See if we can get a hold of Gary. 1-1. Mabel's going late on. That's quite an interesting one in that game there. A really important goal for Mabel if they've got any aspirations of trying to get some. Hi, Gary. How you doing? Gary, 1-1. Mabel with a late goal. Rob Roy obviously taking the lead alone. How's the first half been?
But I sort of wanted to lose just towards the end of the first half there, Paul. I think Rob Roy dominated the game for the most part. And he just allowed Mabel just to get back into it towards the end of the game. Hint of controversy about the goal, and hint of offside, but yeah, they allowed it, and it's 1-1.
You getting the hoovering done at half time, doing the updates in the first half, and then going for the hoovering at half time?
Absolutely, multitasking, you know how it is.
What do we think for the second half then? Is there any team who are particularly looking like they could put pressure on the other side?
I think Rob Roy will come back out and try and hit the ground running. Like you say, the ball in the back of the net, make it 2-0. The referee disallowed it for offside and have hit the post. So Rob Roy have actually had the better of the chances in the first half. So hopefully we can come out in the second half and do the first half and try and get the 3 points this afternoon.
No worries, Gary. I appreciate the update, mate. Take care. Bye. Get Gary back to doing the hoovering. We're going to go to Keith McLaren at Vela Clyde and Petershill 0-0 in the first half. A bit surprised that I thought we'd have got goals in that game, to be honest with you, but still 0-0 there. Hi Keith, how you doing? 0-0 first half. How's it been?
It's very easy preaching, to be honest with you, Paul. I'd say Petershill probably had most of the play in the first half, hit the bar, we're ahead on about 25 minutes, but to be honest with you, mate, it's two teams cancelling each other out. Very much a midfield battle at the moment. Both of them are looking for a way through, but it's been a good first half, to be fair.
It's something we spoke about in the studio before the game, that Vela Clyde's Achilles heel this season has been too many draws. That's 9 draws and 21 potentially today, 10 and 22. Do they look like they're get the opportunity to create any chances?
When they deal with a few chances, a couple of headers, a few long throws. Petershill again, a few dangerous corners. But the Vale's problem is obviously draws. But if you look at their performances, all the big performances have come away from home. They beat the Rock away, Mabel away, and Kilwinning away. They just can't seem to go over the line at home. I mean, Rob Roy beat them 1-0, and obviously after they turned them over a couple of weeks ago. But you can go either way, mate. It really can. It's a decent game of football, to be fair. two teams just gone after. Referee's been good as well, so no, I'm looking forward to the second half.
I won't lie, Keith. It's not often that we get a referee's been good comment on here. But look, Keith, thanks very much for the update, mate. We'll catch up with you later on. Cheers, mate. Could be looking at another draw for Vale Clyde. It just seems to be the way it is, and it's how it is. But I'm going to try and see if we can get Martin Ferry on the phone just to see how it's been at Renfrew, because we've not really heard many updates on that. So Vale Clyde, they need to be so careful, because I would say, in terms of, if you're looking over a third of the way through, 2/3 of the way through the season, you've lost 7 games. You think it's been a steady season for a team who were in the 3rd division 2 years ago?
See, you look at they've got 9 draws. So look at the amount of points they've dropped rather than 3. So see if even half that. I mean, what call it 5 draws.
Yeah.
Like, there's another 4 wins. There's another 12 points. So you've got up to 36, and 36 points would be sitting them in second place with Renfrew. If they just half the amount of draws.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've got a bad team. Quite at all. No, I really don't. And I've always been looking at their fixtures this season and thinking, are they going to go? Are they going to push on? They're going to push on. They're going to push on. And then it's another draw. And I'm just, they've had a couple of good results recently, and I thought that's them beginning to get out of that
Just
phase.
doesn't kick in.
And then it's back to this kind of the goals for and goals against. Just sum it up: 31 scored, 30 against. So they seem like a team that are just hard to beat. And they'll maybe go up and counter sides and get a goal that way, but. Petershill, for me, I feel need to win this. I think they need to win it. Kevin's got 20 games played, done 33 points. Obviously, they're still in a decent position, but Rutherglen are winning, so that stretches them out, obviously, to what's that going to be? 4 points of difference now as well. So, so it's really tight up there, and I think every point's a prisoner.
I agree. I think it is so tight, and
the title at this stage.
Yeah.
It's not like at the start of the season you think, okay, we'll still get 20 odd games to go. We don't have that anymore. Now this is the business end, and this is as we said earlier on, and I mentioned Clyde Cairn being sort of the bridesmaids. Petershill are pretty much the same.
Yeah, totally agree. I think Renfrew, again, we spoke about that a while ago as well. Look, they've got a tendency to chuck a crazy result in as well. Was it Blantyre? A couple of weeks ago as well, bottom of the league.
Drew with Rob Roy as well.
That's it.
That is the issue.
But then go 3-2 down at the Rock at 5-3.
And they did a good result of Cumbernauld as well, which is always a tough place.
Do you know, I think it's quite similar to what we were saying about Easterhouse, where they have it in them to go and lose those games that you're thinking you maybe shouldn't lose them, but then you pick up enough points, you're good enough to go and win maybe 3-4 out of 5, and it keeps you in the pack, particularly in this league.
Then go throw one.
Which I'd said that a few weeks ago, talking to Scott Morton at Renfrew, and Scotty was saying there was 3 games in a row, the games we're talking about, where they dropped points, and it was like, if we had won 2 of those, we'd have been 4 or 5 points clear at the top of the league, and that's mad. If you give Renfrew another 4 or 5 points, you're sitting at 41 points potentially.
Yeah.
And those games in hand mean very little to the teams about them. Whereas just now, those games in hand give you a bit of oxygen to try and push on and see what you can get, really.
It's just mad that you look at the table just now, and the teams that are top of the league have only won half their games.
That's crazy. I know.
Rutherglen sitting third, they've won 9.
I know.
20. Yeah, that's
and what league does that get you promotion?
To be fair, the one
mid-table form.
Take Arthur out of it, because they've also won 10 out of 15. But Thornley have won 10 out of 18. That's a better ratio than the guys above them.
Exactly.
I know.
Exactly.
It's a far better ratio.
And that's obviously what we're touching on, how they've still got a chance to go up. But
I think the Thornley one is the difference when you look at there. It's 110, drawn 1, lost 7. That's the killer.
Yeah.
And then when you look at the goals for and against, it's 38 for and 38 against, so they're cancelling themselves out. That's where Thornley aren't making the progress you'd expect from where they are in the league.
But on the flip side, since Adam Coakley's taken over, they've not really lost games, and I know we will touch on it when the second half's underway, but St Cadoc's are obviously going through a lot of issues, but they took 5 off of St Cadoc's, and regardless of what's going on behind the scenes at St Cadoc's, scoring 5 goals against one of the top half teams at league above you, that's impressive regardless.
Fucking like done it midweek. So
Yeah.
that's Auckland Light are taking 5 off St Carlos, and Thornhill are taking 5. So they have got the power. So again, do we look at what's the issues defensively?
Yeah, no, I
Ah.
totally agree.
Definitely, and it's quite interesting how it's going. We'll just actually see if we can get a couple more updates just before the second half start. But well, if we're looking at some some scores coming in. Nielsen, we're talking on that second division. Dale McNabb a goal against Coolside. That's a really important goal there, 1-0 for them. Ardere 2-0 up against Perthshire. Again, that's a really good result for them in the third division. There's so many. Do you know what I think? I think that a lot of teams, you're starting to see the real them now.
Of course it is.
But you're really starting to see it, and I think Sean's been doing a great job at Ardere for the last wee while, and they're really picking up some important points and wins.
They're sitting third in the league, and they're there on merit. Sean's done fantastic. Again, you look at them, they've scored 48 goals, so scoring goals isn't an issue.
And when you've got Mark Wardrobe who's banging them and who's scored again today, that's really important. I touched on the Albion Rovers game with Linlithgow being called off. Now, you know, it's like amateur level where you get the old. My mate's team have had it this weekend where they get told that the park hadn't been lined and cut. So somebody managed to get pictures of the park that afternoon, and it had been lined and cut. And then it transpired that the boiler was broken and there was no hot water, so they couldn't play the game, right? So a bit dubious. Now, today's game at Clifton Hill has been called off due to a waterlogged park.
What did the fire brigade in last night?
Nah, I was going to say that.
Now, it's
not to cast aspersions, but there used to be a manager at Johnson Borough who quite
Aye.
frequently used to do
Let's
that.
be honest, Jordy used to do that, right? We know Jordy used to do that. That was in my head there.
I walked in one day. I was called to do a pitch inspection, and ordinarily we would come in the top gates of the borough, and I didn't. I came through the clubhouse and came through as I'm walking onto the park. Honestly, it was like the Las Vegas fountains. And I said to Jordan, if you don't want the game on, just let me know. And honestly, his face, I think it was like, must have been a stag do or something. It was like
we'll come back to that in a second. We're going to go to Gary Soph at Knightswood Easterhouse to see how the game's been going. 1-0 at half time to Gary. How are we, mate? Knightswood with a late goal in the first half to make it 1-0. How's the game been?
See, but there, you could go either way. If you were coming down here not knowing where the teams were in the league, you wouldn't know that one was sitting at the top, one was sitting near the bottom, to be fair. Both created chances, nothing really clear cut.
Guys, I'm going to apologise and interrupt you. I called the wrong Gary there. I thought I was calling Gary from Knightswood. Now we're on Gary are good.
I was wondering that.
Guys, I don't know. On the WhatsApp, I've got you and Gary Soph right beside each other. Clicked the wrong one. But look, I was looking to speak to you. I was looking to speak to you anyway, Gary. 0-0 Muirkirk, and the answer, we're right in that.
We are right in that. It's 0-0. Could go either way. It's been a good game. As I said, you wouldn't know who was sitting near the top and one was near the bottom. It's been even all over the park. Couple of chances for both teams again. Nothing majorly clear cut. So yeah, could go anyway, mate. It's been a decent game so far.
Guys,
this is your first time down here, so it's nice to come down. It's a good wee setup.
It's also good to be getting looked after. I hope that you were you searched out for Ross and Isabel before the game. But
I think I joined up half on the park with the truck shouting Ross and Isabel was lost. But Isabel said to say hi to you, Paul. She's really keen to meet you one day. So we'll need to get you here or get Isabel involved in the show somehow because she's very keen to say hi.
Well, you can tell Isabel from me I'm happy to meet her any time, and I thank her for our regular updates.
Muirkirk a shout out and say that they're going to get relegated. Because every time you say it, Paul, I think they stay up allegedly. So, Paul.
Look, I've been known to be wrong many times on this. I think I'm turning into the Hugh Keevans of the Saturday Football Live. But
all I know is I've still unbeaten against you, mate. So, well, taking it.
Well, Des and Scott beat me last time, and I think they're probably going to beat me again today. But guys, we spoke about it on the show about how that basically the same they both managed at the under-20s at Ben's one after the other, and it was something that was quite an important thing. Do you think that's maybe part of the reason why the teams are cancelling each other out?
It could be. It could be. I mean, obviously Martin coming in, getting a result last week. As I said last week on the show, the guy brings some of the energy to the team, and you can see that in the boys. He seems to have brought just a wee bit of passion and a bit of drive, and it's great to see Ants playing like that. But I think they've cancelled each other out a bit here. I think there's a wee bit too much of knowing what each other's about.
No worries. Look, guys, I'll let you go and enjoy the rest of your game. Thanks for the update, mate. Tell Isabel I was asking for her.
Sure, guys. We'll speak to you soon.
See you later, mate.
I never thought I'd say it, but Paul Gordon, the housewife's favourite.
Like that's how
Listen, you're only human. That's it.
That's how it is. Massive goal. Threave have taken the lead against Greenock, 2-1 to Threave. And none other than the man himself, Harry Officer. The boy scores a lot of goals. But let's get back to, before we do Desi's quiz, let's get back to Albion Rovers getting the fire service in. I cannot believe that. I mean, that's a bit.
And that wasn't alerted this morning.
And just to have it out there, not that anybody from Albion Rovers will be listening to this, but Saturday Football Live are in no way saying that Albion Rovers have done anything that they should not have done, but it seems like a crazy one considering the fact that it's the warmest day of the year today. We're 16 degrees. I was out saying to you guys, since I'm such an athlete, I was out running at 7 this morning, and it was lovely this morning, nice and warm, nice and still. I don't actually really remember it raining that much, and maybe Coatbridge has got its own ecosystem and it's been worse there.
See, to be fair, it was raining last night. Obviously, rain through the night, and I got up this morning. The ground was wet, but wasn't going to call the game over.
I took my dog walk this morning and I didn't hear the number.
Lucky the dog can swim. 4-0 to Saltcoats against East Kilbride. That's a massive one there. But look, Des, it is now time. I'm going to make up a banner, right, Des? Wait a minute, and get this banner up there.
You get a banner?
I'm going to make a banner for the live feed. Well, and thanks to everybody that's on. We've been talking that much, we've missed our advert, so we're going to continue without the advert. So remember, if you want to get in touch with us, you can get us on WhatsApp at 07396 717 412. That's 07396 717 412, or on Sat Football Live on Instagram and X. And remember, if you are watching the show live on YouTube, if you're one of the 638 people who are watching it live, that's not true. We're not that high. Ask us a wee question, and you want to say to the guys or myself, then just get yourself right in about it. And we're going to go to Desi's super duper quiz. So Des, go for it.
All right, guys. Very easy. Which former Sweden international has played, not in the current West of Scotland League, played in the old Premier League?
Very easy.
I know.
Very easy. I don't remember Ibrahimovic playing for Poland.
Okay, I'll make it a bit easier again. He also played for Rangers.
Swedish international.
Swedish?
Late 80s, early 90s.
Right.
Then he went to Pollock.
That is, I mean, we were born in the late 80s. You were early 90s. You were early 90s. So,
I can just say Martin Ferry get this within 2 seconds.
but Martin Ferry's 400 years old. He should know this. Sorry, Martin.
I didn't say that when he's in Swedish
right. Robert Pritz.
Correct.
Thanks for that, Gary Muir. You just popped up onto the onto the WhatsApp for me with the answer there. So I cannot take credit for that. But Robert Pritz. Well, there you go.
You don't hate me.
Right, Des, next question.
Remember, I'm up to Roma.
I've
never handed it in. Okay.
Sorry, there's Stevie Dugan also right with Robert Pritz. Stevie, who normally does our updates for the Clydebank game, but apparently his daughter's birthday in London is more important. Stevie, you need to get your priorities straight.
Okay. Which West of Scotland team play at Craighead Park?
Craighead? I'm normally pretty good with the parks as well.
This is, I think, the only West ground that I have not been to.
Craighead Park? It's no Forth, is it?
No.
No, right. It's no Forth, that's it. So I'm right there. Craighead Park. Does anybody know Craighead Park? Don't be shy to get it into your comments on the YouTube live. Lee Oz just updated from Craig Mark. It's 2-1 to Larkhall at half time there. I'm gonna go for Les Mahago. Well, we did just get an update there from another Gary. So thanks to Gary. I wouldn't have got that one. I didn't know. I've played there loads of times as well.
I've never been.
I went there once and it was, believe it or not, it was almost flooded.
Well,
Remember that?
funnily enough, I played on it.
Is that in a valley? Is it not?
It's a big massive. I played on it. But I was actually injured, surprisingly enough, when I was at Mary Hill, and the game was on. And I swear, if that game was on, no game of football should ever be called off. So Craig, right, let's keep that in mind, right? So I'm glad this easy quiz is working well for us. Right, Des?
Okay. Number 3. Who was the Ardrossan Winter Rovers manager before Gavin Fields?
I have no idea.
No, I don't know that.
I'd say we're having a bad day here.
We've actually spoken about him today.
Really?
Yes.
Thanks, Donny Darroch. Reid, for putting in your Les Mahago answer. You got it first, so he's definitely got it before me and Scott did.
Before?
What's real? It's not even that. That's only a couple of years.
I know.
Because my head still goes to, I know we've not spoken, Fry, the old manager who was there for quite a few years, did really well. Derek Fry, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Derek Fry.
Unless my Google is off.
They didn't even know.
I know, listen to that. That's a shambles, Des, honestly.
I thought it was. Turned out not to be, but
Who did you think it was?
I thought it was Sandy McLean.
Sandy McLean did come into my head, but then you said we spoke about him today, so that
The answer that I was given,
we don't know. We don't know.
the answer that came up was Stevie Wilson.
Really?
I don't remember that.
I remember Stevie being at
I know it's at
Ardrossan.
Ardrossan, so maybe he was interim after.
Maybe because he's been at a few clubs since, but well, there you go. I didn't realise we're having a right bad day. Did you go for the 5 questions today?
I've got 2 left.
That's good. We needed that for any chance of getting something.
Right, okay, the next one. Kilbirnie last won a trophy in 2016 in the Ayrshire Cup, beating Auchinleck. Who was in charge?
Who's in charge?
2016, so we're 9 years ago.
Last time they won a trophy.
Swifty and Crilly.
I was going to say that myself.
Swift.
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Right, good. We're back. We're back in the game. Right, we got one there.
1 out of 4.
Right. I know we'll take it.
Right,
How it's going today?
okay. So last week I gave you a question of which team in the West plays the furthest east.
Right.
So this week we're going to reverse it.
What's do you mean?
Which team in the East plays the furthest
Oh,
west?
interesting.
In the East plays furthest west. Right.
I was going to say Campbelltown for furthest west, but would
They're not in the East League.
No, I know that because I thought you were going to say the West League. Would they be the furthest west?
West. I don't know. But which team in the East of Scotland League plays closest to the
Right,
west?
I know there's a. I'm sure there's a team that play further west than 4th play. I'm sure there is. I could be talking rubbish because based on current form, that's a good chance I'm making that up. The team that plays furthest east,
It did make a wee bit.
furthest west, and the east.
Whitburn, no.
See, that is a kind of region that I'd be looking at as well. But I don't imagine because it made news when
Well, when the leagues were.
Hart Hill. Hart Hill.
Because they actually
They
come under a
That's right.
North Lanarkshire postcode.
That's right, Hart Hill. So that
Hart Hill Royal.
Hart Hill Royal, who were a West team a couple of years ago and were shockingly bad. Actually, do you remember the Canio's volley for West Ham, the scissor kick? Without a word of a lie, when I was at the Port, funnily enough, pre-season, injured again. We were playing Hart Hill through there, and Scott Nugent scored a better version of that goal for me than the Canio did for the Port against Hart Hill that day.
I thought you were coming, you said.
No, that back then that was when I was at the Port. Yeah, I've been everywhere.
Injured or not?
100%. I was actually injured for quite a large spell at the Port. Maybe that's why I remember it so fondly. That I couldn't really make it any worse. We got the last two.
You honestly took Hart Hill right out my mouth there because I was thinking about driving over that way and I'm like, Hart Hill, Livingston, but no,
Half time or just after half time, 45 minutes, we didn't even get a minute in. Ewan Thompson makes it 3-0 for the Talbot against Benburb. Benburb getting really drawn back into that. It's quite worrying for them.
They've been a poor run again. After being in such a good run, they've kind of just totally went another
Yep.
way.
Yeah, the Wentworth brothers got
Good
Good
reaction.
bounce, I know.
Yeah, good
But maybe that is without any disrespect meant to them, maybe that's the level of the players that you can get the wee bounce, but that's where they are. Really important one in the first division, Ardrossan 1-0 up against St Rochs. So Stevie Wilson's former club, 1-0 up against St Rochs there. But
if they can hold on to that, that's huge. That was the one game I pinpointed earlier on. I was if Ardrossan can win that, they're right in the mix as well again. It's this first division's mad, and also Kilburnley are winning as well, so that's 8th and 9th winning.
And putting themselves right into it.
And putting them right back into the mix. Because Ardrossan are on 28, the Rock on 33, so that puts in 31. Then also Kilburnley 25, they've got 3 games in hand, puts them up to 28. It's mad. That is so tight.
Renfrew need to watch what they're doing.
I think so. I think so.
I don't know if Renfrew have enough to get promoted.
I don't think they're prepared for it.
No,
That's
think
not to say that if they did get promoted and if the finances are available and the lure of attraction to play above, and given the facilities that they've got down there, that would attract players. At current moment, as much as it pains me to say it, I think it's maybe a season too early.
I'm really surprised at them this season, obviously from Renfrew home team as well. But I was speaking to Ian Nicholson to start the season, and with a wee slight bet, he was very confident of where they are just now. So he was obviously in there to see what's happening. But I was given the season of last season, I thought Renfrew were extremely poor last season. Really poor. Beating with Neilston, and I could not believe the brand of football they were playing. They just hoofed the ball into the corner the whole game. I could not believe it. And I thought Renfrew were better than that. But I had them kind of bottom half team this season, so I stand to be corrected. So
in the second division, Forth have just taken the lead against Maryhill. Maryhill losing to the Ants last week. Are they going to get drawn back into it? They're sitting in 25 points. If it continues as is, it'll be 25 points after 21 games. Forth have now, based on goals scored, have gone ahead of the Ants with 2 games in hand. That puts the Ants the Ants will be a point ahead of them, as it stands just now with the draw.
They also beat the Ants a couple of weeks ago, 3-2.
I think that we've touched on this. Forth have got a bit about them. I think that they go to the Demolition Cup final. I appreciate that there's not many rounds to go through in that, but still they got to a cup final, and it'll be the first cup final that club have been in a long time. They've got enough about them. So I think that could be important for them. We've got a lot of kickoffs, and the kickoffs are coming in from the Lowland League now at 3 o'clock kickoffs. So no goals yet, as we're seeing. I think this might be a typo. I'm not sure, but it's saying on Irvin Vick's page. No, it's not. Wishaw, after being 1-0 down, are 3-1 up against Irvin Vick's. After we're saying about how little they've won in the last while, 3-1 up against Irvin Vick's.
I did say it 10-15 minutes ago. See, since the new gaffers came in, they've been very, very competitive.
Yep.
They were conceding an amount of goals, was really concerning. But every game he's been in, the actual one, I think, the first game, no beats at Peters. And then after that, they've been losing the games by the odd goal here and there. They've totally flipped it. And then also that's a good result. I mean, for me, it'd be the great escape if they managed to take themselves off the bottom of the league and start climbing up. But
I mean, they're down, but see if they could get into a position where they maybe not finish bottom.
If they finish the season on a good run of form, then that's
It's encouraging for back-to-back relegations. Obviously, is not what you're looking for.
No.
But I would imagine, see if they can finish with a decent finish, they would go into that 4th division looking to try and do something next season.
Of course, they're looking to be winning it.
I'm not sure if a team for me shouldn't have been the 4th division.
No.
I think they're a bigger side than that. I'm just looking at the results recently as well. They beat Glendale 3-0. That's what it was. And then obviously Greenock, you'd expect Greenock to keep it 2-1. High scores in the league.
Glasgow United beating them 4-1.
There is that as well.
A couple of goals coming in. Broxburn 1-0 up against Cowdenbeath in the Lowland League. It's a good result for them. Whitburn taking the lead against St Cadoc's in the Made Up Cup. I don't know where it is. I haven't.
Cup winners.
Cup Trophy Shields, Intertoto. But it goes from. We're going to touch on it in a minute about St Cadoc's. I appreciate we're more than halfway into the show and we've not even broached it yet. We're going to touch on St Cadoc's with Martin Fellows stepping down on Tuesday night, and with Beith, Chris Strain stepping down last week as well. But Glencairn have doubled the lead against Ashfield. They're now 2-0 up. Whitlett's 2-0 up against Cambuslang. Jordan Baird, regular occurrence scoring. Carluke 1-0 up against Giftnut. Giftnut seem to have a wee dip of form now. That again, they're maybe similar to Benburb, where that's the level of players that they've got just now, and JD and Neil and Gav just need to plug through. Midtown Sheriff with the Cup Winners' Shield, giving us the proper name there. I'm not going to lie, I don't know if anybody even cares. I know it's
today,
why is it taking precedence over everything else as well? It's weird. We've got a goal in the Cowdenbeath Broxburn game, just as we're praising Broxburn there. Cowdenbeath pull one back. Jake Sutherland with a goal there. Penalty to Bo'ness. Could be an interesting one for them. And they have, penalty to Bo'ness against Broomhill. Bo'ness go 1-0 up. Not what they're really looking for at Broomhill. It's been a bit of a struggle there. Maryhill pull it back. Johnny Baxter with a goal there against Forth. Nielsen go 3-0 up now against Forsyth. Looks like that game's dead and buried. Largs, Will Sewell, the man himself, puts 3-1 for Largs against Shotts. Broomhill quickly reply. Callum McKenzie pulls them level against Bo'ness. That's an important goal there for them. 1-1. Troon 4-0 up against Beith. Just like I said, we're going to touch on those two teams in a wee second. McManus scores again for Glencairn. They are now 3-0 up. That looks like game over there as well. Drumchapel taking the lead against Glenafton. That'll be a really good one for them. Two teams who ultimately don't have anything to play for, but a really important one there. Still 0-0 with East Kilbride. Dorai have just equalised against Baylor Leaving. So we'll get on to it now. We'll get about 10 minutes before our next break. We'll have a wee chat about St Cadoc's. Gents, what's the view? St Cadoc's, we obviously they lost a couple of heavy defeats, the 7-2 against Troon, the 5-1, 5-0 against Donnywood in the Cup. What do we think about that? Do you know what? Sorry, I'll give a bit more background. I appreciate people are probably sick of hearing from my voice for a couple of minutes. Petershill just taking the lead against Fairlie Clyde there. That's an important goal there. Very interesting. St Cadoc's, what I've heard, so again, as I always caveat with this stuff, is this is only rumours. I cannot confirm anything, but it's what you hear. The money man at St Cadoc's, who puts in what I believe to be in excess of £80,000 a year into the budget, is stepping back, pulling his money, which for any club at this level is horrendous. They obviously sold Kieran Divers last week to Johnson Borough for 25 grand is the rumoured fee, which would be a record at this level. Johnson Borough man is on Twitter told me that was not the case. But whether that is the case or not, I've heard it from a decent source.
It's going to be substantial.
25 grand, so that covers a big chunk of what they might be losing. I'm also hearing that the kids in the club, their fees are going up by roughly 30%, 33%. Not to cover the first team, apparently. Whether I believe that or not is a different matter. But that's where it is. Midtown Sheriff is telling us the winner gets entry into the Big Scottish Cup for the Cup Winners' Shield. It's good to know. Thank you very much for that, Midtown Sheriff. So, Des, St Cadoc's.
Obviously, I'm not privy to what the financial situation is there, but we do know that we've also signed a number of players and a number of players of quality. And if you're signing players of quality, it's going to cost you money. We knew that Kieran Dyer, when he was leaving Beith, I mean, what a deal. What a deal Beith must have called it.
Yeah.
Getting him out of Renfrew for peanuts.
Didn't get any money from them when he went to St Cadoc's.
So the bit that I don't get is he signed for Johnson Borough for a really substantial fee.
Yeah.
But they've only given him an 18-month contract.
Mm.
And if you're paying that amount of money out, surely you want to secure that in some way. So
2 or 3 year deal.
Give him maybe like a 3.5 year deal because he could kick on again because by all accounts he had opportunities to go senior last year.
Yeah.
He chose to go to St Cadoc's. Obviously Johnson Borough is Eliza will replace where the financial money is now. I would have made it a longer deal, but it's not about Borough, it's about St Cadoc's. I think that if I was a parent and what would the if I had a parent with a child that was in St Cadoc's setup, I think the pathway to seeing a team almost seemed blocked.
Yeah.
They weren't really promoting from within. It was almost external players.
They're going to have to now.
They're going to have to now. And is that maybe where the parents maybe they got umbrage with the way the fact the money's going around? Because let's be honest, there's something Newton Mayors are in a fairly affluent area. They want to see their young people, their young children progress.
Yes.
And if they've got enough voice in the club, then that will filter through. Is that why potentially the money man has decided, well, it's not for me anymore?
Maybe. Just before we continue on that, Scott, and hear your thoughts. Penalty to Troon, so 4-0 still. Penalty to Troon, so it could be 5-0. Sean Ross with the goal for Nielsen, so they're 4-0 up against Kilsyth. Kilsyth falling apart a wee bit there. Penalty is saved by Stott, who rumours were that he was going to Clydebank, so I'm not sure if that's actually true. Forth have retaken the lead against Maryhill. Les Mehigo have pulled a goal back with Yoker, so it's now 1-1. Half time at Cumnock and Clydebank is 0-0. New Mains 1-0 up against St Peters. McManus gets a quick second half hat trick. Glencairn 4-0 up against Ashfield. Shots have pulled a goal back. Rico DeMarco, what a name that is. That is a class name. Really?
Yeah.
Rico DeMarco, good player?
Yeah, very good player.
Well, he's just pulled a goal back for Shots there. Glasgow Uni, after being 2 down, are now 2-2 against Lugar. Half time, St Cadoc's were talking about 1-0 down. St Roch's pull a goal back, but it's 2-1. I'm not sure who to. Ryan Dees with his second of the game, I think all but end Shots return 4-2 to Largs there. Sorry, Scott, what is the views on the St Cadoc's situation?
I'm a bit surprised it's went the way it has. So quickly. That's what I'm saying. Because for me, they were having a very positive season in terms of league position. What is the remit at the start of the season for St Cadoc's? Do you think that is win the league?
I think they also want to be competitive,
of course,
in the league. I think the biggest thing, the issue could potentially be around again, and it's adding another caveat is they still need to build their own ground. They still need to have their own place.
Exactly.
At this moment in time, they're obviously sharing down at Temple Park with Benburn. That's going to cost a lot of money. It's going to cost a lot of money to buy land where they want to do it as well. I think St Cadoc's were doing perfectly well. I'm surprised at the timing of it.
Very. That's what got me, the timing of it. It seems like a very bizarre moment of the season to say, right, you know what, we're pulling out. Looking at the results, ever since that 7-2 for Troon, things have just went nosedive, because obviously they've taken a right slow one against Talbot, and then took a really surprising defeat probably against Thornleywood, but it was a manner of the defeat as well, 5-0.
Aye.
So things have also been going on in the background, I think, there as well, to be conceding that goals are conceded as well. But I'm really surprised. I'm really surprised. And if fees are going up, as you said, 33%, and that's filtering through to parents, I don't know how I'd feel about that as well, given that the pathway wasn't what it should be. Obviously, you can't ground share forever either. So there's got to be a change in terms of where they see themselves in the next couple of years. For me, I thought they were having a really good season. They were competing. They were sitting second for quite a period of time. They kind of dropped down, but I feel ever since that Troon result in the cup, in the league, it's just totally.
But I'd heard the rumours of what was happening maybe 3 or 4 days before the Troon game.
Yeah.
And it's no coincidental for me that this has started to happen when you hear these rumours. So it's obviously come from somewhere, and then you get to the stage where they start losing games quite heavily. They're 2-0 down against Whitburn now. We're going to go to Jordan Orr at Cumnock. They were a 2:30 kick-off against Clydebank, but Greenock have just pulled a goal back against Threave, so it's now 2-2. Get a wee comment in from Gary. I really appreciate everybody. We're now starting to get to the stage where we're building the show a bit. We're starting to get more comments in. It's greatly appreciated. So you can get us on 07396 717 412. That's 07396 717 412. I'll come back to Gary's comment because it relates to the Youth Academy stuff as well. But we're going to go to Jordan Orr and see how the first half went at Townhead Park. Still 0-0 with Cumnock and Clydebank as it stands. Gary, 0-0 first half. How has it been so far?
PG, it's been a decent game to be fair at Townhead. Obviously, listen, Clydebank would have been in most people's groupings this week. However, we've had to kind of sit and obviously be a wee bit disciplined. But to be fair to us, I would say that the two biggest chances in the first half has came our way. Andy Leishman's made an absolutely unbelievable save. He took one on the crossbar, and then Tam Orr's one-on-one with him, and again he's made a good save. But it's been a decent first half, mate.
Obviously, Cumnock are having quite a tough season in terms of a bit too much inconsistency and no scoring enough goals. Again, 0-0. Do you think that's part of the problem? I appreciate Leishman on his days top drawer goalkeeper, but do you think that that's part of the issue, that the one-on-ones that they're missing, and it's potentially been a problem through the season?
Definitely, mate. The boys, listen, not going to look for excuses. It's not been good enough in the final third. We've not scored enough goals. But again, it's it's been the story of the season. As I say, obviously the first save that he made, he stepped a ball at the crossbar. There's no other goalkeeper in this league going to make that save. But again, it's all about putting the ball in the goal, unfortunately, and it's on the day we need to turn up. But to be fair to us, the boys have done really well so far. As I say, obviously Clydebank's had a lot of the ball, and we've had to be disciplined. They've got quality, obviously, all over the pitch. But you know, we look dangerous going forward. On the break, sorry, and we've got a wee bit we've got a boy, Jamie Cohen, back on the bench today, who's obviously got a lot of pace, and we've really missed that. So hopefully we'll see him in the second half and hopefully get that goal that we're looking for.
No bother, Jordan. Thank you very much for the update, mate. Enjoy the second half. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, DJ. Thank you.
Well, I think again, that's touched on with Jordan there, is not scoring is the big issue for Cumnock, and we've touched on this week after week. Yep, and it's a big issue, but it's one of those ones that I think if they're able to keep hitting Clydebank in the break, then it could be really important. Murray Thompson with an update there. That's 3-0 to Witless. Thanks for that, Murray. East Kilbride have pulled one back against Saltcoats 4-1, but I think game's still done there. There's only 15 minutes left. I can't see them scoring another 3 there. But look, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll touch a bit more on the St Cadoc's, and then we'll move on to Beath. Last 15 minutes of games getting played, we'll try and keep you updated with scores and if anything's really coming about in any of the games. So we'll be right back after these break. or you can get us on Instagram and X at Saturday Football Live, or you can catch us on YouTube. Get into the comments, slide right into our DMs, and have a wee chat with us on there if there's anything you want to talk about. So we're going to continue to talk about St Cadoc's, and also, sorry, for the listeners and viewers on YouTube, apologies if Des and Scott seem a wee bit far away on the mic. We need to pick up some equipment to get mics, because it's done through the laptop mic, so it's maybe not quite as clear as we'd like it to be. And if you'd like to help us with that stuff, I'm sorry to bring the begging bowl up, but you can become a member on YouTube for only 99 pence a month or £1 a month. You'd really help the show out, help us get ourselves some new equipment. That'd be greatly appreciated. But so I'm going to go back to the question, actually, or the comment from Gary on WhatsApp. Gary says, personally think there should be a rule that clubs should have 3 to 4 players from their youth academies in their squads. Clubs throw money about like madmen when they have youth academies. Scott, what's the view on that?
I'm all for it. Totally all for it. Not get anything against that whatsoever. That's why you've got a 20s. That's what they're there for. The campaign to get that structure in, to have the 20s set up, the development leagues, which I think has been a huge success. I think it's a great idea. You're not telling me there's boys in their 20s that can't step up and be part of your first team, whether they're starting games or just getting a wee bit of experience, be in the dressing room, being round about it. But I'm all about giving youth opportunities at this level. I think it's the way forward.
I agree. I think there has to be a clear pathway to get to the first team, and that's the incentive. I know that it ran through, certainly when Mark was there and we were at Burnley, we wanted the 20s to be training next year, and we could go and bring a couple of boys across and get them involved in training. Because if I take you this week, next week he's going to be saying, well, how's he taking him? He's taking me. That you can see a progression. What I don't want to see it turn out like we used to have. Remember, we used to have a couple under 21s on the bench in the FPL, and they just stuck them there because they had to. They were never going to play. You've got your guys there that are going to play. That's the only caveat, but I'm all for it. I think 23 element football is right, because you want to get the guys up to it, but they've got to have that ability. What I would do is, if you had a Premier League team, if I was a Pollock or an Auckland like etc., and I've got a very successful 20s team, every medal with a very successful 20 team, we tried to pull in a couple of through. I would put these guys out on loan to play first team football, maybe a second division or third division. Go and play men's football.
That's where you maybe, and I know that Clydebank have sent players, some of the younger players, to the likes of Kilsyth, because I know that Moff likes the way that Bailey tries to get his teams to play football. It's the same with your big clubs in the Premier League and stuff. Why would you not put your players out, your good 20s players? And I understand you want to keep them in the 20s and stuff, but sometimes you're thinking long term for your club.
Exactly.
Go and get them playing on a Saturday for good competitive sides against men.
See if you get an under 20 striker who's scoring the barrel of the goal, or you've got a really good goalkeeper, get him out there. Go and get the rough and tough football that you're going to be playing in. Put him out there for a year and then bring him back.
Midtown Sheriff is the man in the know for us. He has said St Cadoc's need a win, or it goes to the third game with Lockhart versus Whitburn. St Cadoc's only beaten Lockhart 2-1, which for me I think was another poor result, if I'm being completely honest with you. I don't think Whitburn are having the best of seasons in the East. I think they're kind of mid-table-ish, maybe, that could be checked through, I'm not sure. But do you know what? I think they're actually in the top 4. They're having a no bad season. I completely made that up. I remember looking at it last night.
Whitburn are sitting
fourth. I thought that's where it was. I remembered there. But we've touched on St Cadoc's. What about Beath? Chris Strain stepping away now. The rumours, and again, a caveat with, these are just rumours. We are not saying that this is the case. We're not accusing Straney of doing anything untoward. We're not accusing any clubs of doing it untoward. But the rumours are that Straney has spoken to Johnson Borough. Whether that be true, I think if they get rid of Murdy, that would be madness. I think he's done a very good job. Again, rumours. Potentially Pollock's, but I don't think that Maxi should be, considering what he's been at with where he's been with Pollock and the cuts they've had and the job that they've done. I think it would be particularly unfair for that as well. But Straney's walked away saying that he doesn't think he can give them the best anymore. it's a bit. I kind of get it in a sense where he's had 2 league titles in a row back to back, and maybe he does just think I can't make it any better. We're sitting at my table, they're sitting taking a bit of doing today as well. But there's also the hints of it going somewhere else, and it's quite an interesting one for what was the view, Scott?
For me, there's no smoke without fire. I think that, as you said, it is rumours, but there's been a lot of different rumours about Straney speaking to different people. We know that as well. So, see behind the scenes, that can be helpful. That can be helpful on a committee point of view in that as well. Looking at the results again this season, very poor, I think, considering what they've achieved the last 2 seasons. I know they might not have the squad they had the last 2 seasons, but I still think you'd be expecting a bit more from Beef than what we've been seeing this season. I think he will pop up somewhere. It tends to happen. I think I would probably not be surprised to see him pop up somewhere this season again, to be honest with you. But for me, I'm a wee bit surprised, but again, there's no smoke without fire. I think there's a lot going on in the background, and I think there probably has been discussions with various different people.
My apologies on YouTube. I think we've just had a wee camera malfunction there. But I think he's one of the best managers at this level.
He's not even just one arm behind his back, one arm and one leg behind his back.
Yep.
He's had his budget cut numerous times. He's losing players from his team while it's currently ongoing, purely to bring in money. The expectation and the realisation of the Pollok fans and the Pollok committee have to be met somewhere. And Max has done absolutely nothing wrong there as well. So is Straney potentially looking at a lower league team? Is he looking at a senior league team?
I know.
If we're talking about Albion Rovers there in the Lowland League, would it surprise you to see Chris turn up something like that?
I know.
Absolutely not.
No, I know, definitely. And that is the possibility, but surely Lowland League teams would be looking to take a punt on guys like this. It makes
Mickey Darvel. Would it be surprised to see Straney at Darvel?
Yeah.
I know. That's the thing. You could go much worse. Few scores coming in. The Thorn are now 6-0 up. It's very comfortable. Muirkirk have taken the lead against the Ants with just a few minutes left. We'd said with Saltcoats, we East Kilbride getting a goal back. Are we looking at maybe a wee resurgence? 7-1 to Saltcoats, so it's a definite no. 7-1, so it's an absolute doing. Apologies on YouTube, we've lost one of the cameras. That's again, we're going to try and see if we can get some better equipment and then make this a much more streamlined view for you. But Broomhill 2-1 up against Bo'ness.
They were 1-0 down.
1-0 down.
That's a surprise.
Fourth 4-1 up against Maryhill. That game's dead and buried there. So still 1-0 to Kilbirnie. Kilbirnie have just hit the bar there. we're not too many changes in our big games at the moment, but Broxburn have just taken the lead against Cowdenbeath. That's 2-1 to Broxburn there, and Glencairn 5-0 up against Ashfield. Whitlett's 4-0 up against Cambuslang. Really starting to open the game up there.
EK still 0-0 with Gallifrey.
We've no update on this yet, so still 4-0 for the Talbot against Benburb. It was Darryl Erdry with the goal, 8 minutes remaining in the 90 for Muirkirk. 6-0 McManus with 4 goals in 33 minutes. 6-0 to Glencairn. Ashfield really is a tough one for them just now.
See the surprising thing for Ashfield, I think one of the subjects we spoke about a couple of weeks ago was big clubs that are further down the leagues and things like that. See, when I was breaking through into juniors was 2021, Ashfield were a top 4, top 5 club in the Premier League for quite a considerable number of years. My first game, I think, was a friendly for Renfrew against Ashfield, a midweek friendly, and I'm thinking, good side. So, see, to find themselves where they are, that they're gone again. They've had quite a difficult period where they've been kind of moved out their ground. They were also the Speedway for years and years and years, moved out there. So, there's been a big turnaround in things behind the scenes in Ashfield as well over a number of years. So, I feel free because I think they're a good club.
Yeah, they are, and they're a very traditional club.
Exactly.
I used to love going to Ashfield. So I like Saracen Park.
Yeah, absolutely love that.
Muirkirk, 4 minutes to go, made it 2-0. That looks like that's the game done there.
Yeah.
Really not the best of days for the Ants, now 2-0 down with 4th winning there. The Ants now drop into second bottom. They've got 9 games left.
5 away.
5 are away. The only saving grace for them in a sense is that Cambuslang are looking pretty poor at the moment as well. So it's
They've won in the last 4, could be 5.
No.
As well, Cambuslang, so they're in a sticky position.
St Peter's pull a goal back against New Mains, an own goal there, so it's now 1-1 with St Peter's and New Mains. Stuart Davidson has been sent off for the medal for a foul on Kyle Lafferty, still 0-0 there in that game. Meda putting up a good fight there, so it's definitely an interesting one. But on the manager changes, Des, I think you said off camera that you'd heard that Sean Dillon was going to be taking Beath potentially at the end of the season.
Yeah, I'm sure it might have been a dream or something, but I'm sure I heard Sean was going to take over.
Well, we've not heard otherwise, so there's a good chance that is the case. And I suppose it keeps some level of stability with Sean and being involved in there. Granted, it's no great today for them. Who do we think for St Cadoc's in? Because I genuinely believe if things are as bad as it appears from the outside, I think that we're going to look at St Cadoc's nosediving in the next couple of years.
I think that if the money's gone, it would be really difficult to entice an experienced manager up there. Would they promote from within? Would they maybe give their under-18s coach an opportunity at it? Also, how many players are still going to be under contract? Yeah. What is that next manager? How's he then going to use his influence to recruit?
I would imagine, see if they don't have the money, they'd have to start just getting rid of those players if they're on the contract. East Kilbride have taken the lead. 43 minutes, John Robertson puts East Kilbride ahead of Gallifrey, so 1-0. So just like we were predicting lots of goals in that game, it's not been the case. Troon 5-0 up, Stephen Bronski at 89th minute.
What a season Troon are having.
That's what I was thinking earlier on. Great season. Unbelievable.
It's just, as it stands, right, so obviously Clydebank drawn, still plenty of time left in that second half there. Clydebank are sitting on 47. Johnson Borough obviously not playing today on 36. Troon go to 36, so 11 behind. All 3 have played 19 games. So again, even if Cumnock managed to get the point against Clydebank today, Clydebank have extended the lead that they had on second place.
You're looking at the league just now. We're talking also Martin Fellows that was just leaving, and we're saying what a good season Troon are having. St Cadoc's are a game behind, and if they win that one game, they're only 1 point behind Troon.
I know.
It's a really strange time in the season for them to leave.
But what in the recent run of results gives you any indication that they are going to be able to go and compete with a Premier League side just now?
Going forward, I think it's very minimal opportunity.
Battered off a Troon, battered off a First Division Thorneywood, battered off a Talbot, beat Lockhart, and I mean no disrespect, a team who are not very great in that South of Scotland League, which is probably on a par with the bottom half of the second division in the West, I would say. Maybe the top half of the second division. It's really no, it's not good viewing, and there is nothing to suggest that they can go and take many more points at this stage in the season.
I think the worrying thing is there's a trend with these kind of teams. Like you see, St Cadoc's also coming in where all this money, bumped the Celtic League, money man's left. Are they going to nosedive? You've seen it over the years. It happened to Perthshire. They went right up the leagues. Money's left. They've nosedived.
You've seen it with Maryhill in the past. You've seen it with Benburn. You've seen it with Johnson Bury. You've seen it with Kilwinning. The Meda. Up, down. It's Darvel, exactly. I mean, that we could be looking at the same situation with Darvel, because where do they go if they get relegated this season?
That's my huge concern for Johnson Bury. If that guy was able to lose his money, they're going to be in a lot of trouble.
And the plans they've put in place, I mean, obviously they're fixing the stand and stuff like that, but you've seen the redevelopment of Keys Park. It looks fantastic. It's like spaceships landing. But this is at the whim of one
man.
Exactly.
And don't get me wrong, the impression I get from people that's spoken to the club is he's there long term. Exactly. He cares about the club. But surely there has to be some safety in place where you say, well, I appreciate you probably can't do this, but you'd be like, do you put money straight into the club that you cannot take back out so that we can survive if you walk away for at least a while?
I don't know how you do that. I don't know what kind of guarantee you put in place. I think at times committees, the way things are just now, they're just happy that somebody's in and obviously financing what they're doing. Times are tough. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's a difficult. You're not really in a position to demand that.
Well, we've got a goal in the Cumnock Clydebank game. Des, who scored?
Nicky Little.
Nicky Little scores one more time for Clydebank. Unbelievable the amount of goals this guy scores. No, I don't think so. Full time at Cali Locals, Lanark 5, Cali Locals 1. Half time at East Kilbride 1-0 up. There's a pausing injury as Glasgow Perthshire's right back has been stretchered off, so we wish him all the best on that. But Ardeer, as it stands, are looking like they're going to take the 3 points. Very good 3 points. Perthshire going from being a team who we thought maybe 8 weeks ago were really going to be in the hunt to try and get themselves back into that second division. Now they are sitting in a position where Vale Leven getting a draw with Dourai puts Vale Leven, who are one place above the relegation zone, puts Vale Leven 4 points behind. Put 4 points behind Perthshire.
Bit of breaking news at Knightswood. Darren Miller, red card in the 93rd minute.
Still 1-0. 90 minutes gone. And Gartcairn have just missed a big opportunity. Still 0-0 there. Half time at Bowness, 2-1 to Broomhill. Whitlets 5, Cambuslang 0. Goal scorers there, 5 different goal scorers. Connor Yare, Jordan Baird, Isaac Kerr, Kane Howarth and Lewis Kirkwood.
Is that no 0-0 at half time?
No, it was 1-0 at half time, I think. So they've crumbled second half, which is quite concerning for Cambuslang himself. And I think they're exactly the same. A team who you would have thought
a couple of years ago they were challenging
Premier League team, and there was no way that they were going to be struggling. But
Scott Anson,
guys, and they were at good ages at that time as well. You know what I mean, scoring lots of goals. It's a bit disconcerting for them.
I'm worried for them actually. There's one of the teams just when you're looking through the leagues and things, just try to get me pointers. I was looking at their form and I'm like, they've no won in the last 5 games now, and it's the wrong time of season to be hitting that type of form.
Definitely.
I think that's them sitting just a couple of points, if not 1 or 2 points outside the relegation places now. So they've really struggled of late. Again, another big club, but it swings and roundabouts. I thought them maybe 6 weeks ago. They're looking as if they went in a run. You're going right.
Could they make an outside shot? I know.
Exactly. But there's always a team that does it. There will be a team that comes out of the blue. It makes a push for promotion. It always happens every season, but it'll not be Canvas.
No, I don't think so. Scots Gonville makes it 5-0 to the Talbot against Benburb in the 90th minute. Now, we've touched on it earlier on the show, and we've touched on it a few times, how the Talbot are really turning around. That moves the Talbot ahead of St Cadoc's, 2 points clear of St Cadoc's. St Cadoc's now have a game in hand. But the Talbot have really good turnaround, and I got chinned earlier in the season when I said there was absolutely no chance the Talbot could win the league, and I believe I'm vindicated in that comment. But again, that's a 5-0 today, 5-1 against St Cadoc's, 2-0 against Rob Roy, 2-0 against Muirkirk in the Cup, a draw with Shotts. They beat Hurlford, they beat the Borough in the Cup, 6-0 against Glenafton.
And that's like Glenafton team in
Form. So they seem to really be hitting a right bit of form themselves. Full-time result at Rob Roy and Mabel, 1-1. So
next time we'll go. That's us 2-1.
So that's how it looks right now as it stands, and I think that me going against Knightswood has killed me today. Saved me for getting it stopped me for getting a win.
Did you have a draw, Rob Roy?
Yeah, no went for Rob Roy, but I've got a draw for the Hurlford and Gartcairn game, and you had yep. So we've got full-time result at Petershill, Vale Clyde, 1-0 Petershill, so a big win for them.
Massive.
Big defeat for Vale Clyde though.
We said as well that 1 point wasn't enough.
No, for either side. So that's a huge result for Petershill.
Full time at Greenock and Thrieve, 2-2 there. So that's an interesting one. That's I think for Greenock that's a good result.
Yes,
I think that's a really good result for Greenock going down there. Thrieve, I don't think it's a terrible result, but I think that they would have been looking for the win. But
it's just as you there.
Aye. So as it stands, the Thorn have comfortably won today, so they move on to 51 points with 9 games remaining. Greenock are now 10 points behind them. Game in hand, but 10 games remaining. I don't see that getting caught. No. Ardere making a real push for this. That's a 2-0 win for Ardere today. Puts them on to 39 points. They're only 2 points behind Greenock. Greenock have 1 game in hand, so no guarantees there. Thrieve sitting on 35 points. Dorey, I think Dorey will rue this opportunity today with the draw, 1 each with Vela leaving. A win for them would have moved them into 4th place. Granted, I don't think that they'll be able to hold on to that, but it would have been good to put a bit of pressure on the teams about you.
So that's a great result for Ardere though, getting that win, and obviously Thrieve and Greenock, 1 behind, 1 above, in a draw. That's the perfect day for them. Yeah. I don't think you'd want either of the teams to lose. No. It pulls us closer. Slightly closer to Greenock and slightly further away from Thrieve. So,
full-time result at Western Park, a new Western Park, Renfrew 0, Kilbirnie 1. That's a massive, massive result for both teams. Full-time at Shotts, 4-2 to Largs. We touched on it at the start of the show. Largs starting to find their form again, the good side. Disappointing for Shotts. Wishaw beating Irvine Vicks 4-2, the bottom 2, playing in the 3rd division. Lugar, after being 2-0 up, lose 3-2 to Glasgow Uni. So that's quite an interesting one there. Full time at Blair Park, 0-0 between Hurlford and Gartcairn. Let's have a wee look at the implications of that for the Premier League. So Darvel are losing, staying on 11. Gartcairn up to 13. Shotts up to staying on 14. Hurlford up to 16. Benburb staying on 15. Cumnock looking like they're staying on 17. So very, very poor day for the bottom teams. Hurlford, I'd say out of that bottom 5 are the team who have probably benefited the most today. Yeah. And even at that, it's only a draw, but they've probably benefited the most. Gartcairn up to 12 points at the last 39. What's the thoughts?
Exactly as we said at the start of the show. Nothing's changed. They're just not getting results. No idea why. They've got the quality. It just seems that a team that's just on a downward spiral.
Mm-hmm. I think obviously just moving on to the Paul result, I think that's a huge result for them.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were talking
huge.
About it midweek.
I would definitely agree.
That's it. I said I think Paul would have been fine anyway, but I think they've been desperate for the next 3 points just to be like, you know what, 24 points we'll see is. So it's the 11th downward is
the top 10 they are what they are. I think that's roughly how it will go.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I think that is a massive result for Pollock today. I mean, sitting on 24 points and they have games in hand on the teams below them.
Exactly.
And we know that Pollock have got enough about them that they out of 6 games, I'd imagine Pollock would win 3 and lose 3. Yeah. That's the form they're in. But that 9 points out of those 6 games, that's the type of form that will keep them safe. And
and that's probably when you look at the season they've had and the difficulties that they're facing. They did Maxie saying this morning, 5 players out.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably a true reflection of where they should be. and it's now just about how they go and build from here.
Yeah, I've just at Benburn for me. I'm
They've-
worried about now.
Off a cliff, isn't they?
A couple of weeks ago, I'm thinking, what a turnaround. They were beginning to pull away. But the funny thing is although we keep going with Gartcare and Darvel slowly picking up a wee point here and there.
Mhm.
And shots, obviously, it's a sore one for them today, but they're still right in the mix as well. So looking at it, it's stressing me out looking at it because there's nobody at any point putting a run together and really dragging themselves. It's just,
The thing with the
so
Premier
tight.
League as well is that the teams are all so close in points
Aye.
that you look at the first division, Blantyre and Ashfield are gone. Like, so it's a fight for one spot. It's a fight for 3 spots in this because you're looking Cumnock as it stands. If they lose, 17 points for 19 games. Benburn 15 from 19. Hurlford 16 from 20. Shorts 14 from 19. Gartcairn 13 from 23. Darvel 11 from 18. So I think we are a game or two away from saying that Gartcairn might go. They are in such a poor position as it stands.
Yeah.
They are a game or two away from saying,
And look at them, look at them going big and Shane and these kind of guys.
Mhm.
We've said about the points deduction and where they should be. Take that out. Gartcairn should not be where they are.
No.
I honestly, that shows my age. Honestly, the fact that people used to say Notts Forest and the Brian Cup, they're too good to go down.
No, they're not. I know.
No, you're not. If you're not getting results, then you're obviously not good enough.
I tell you what, see if Hibs, Hearts and Dundee United cannot get relegated from the Scottish Premier League.
Exactly.
Gartcairn can get relegated from the West of Scotland Premier League. It's quite an interesting one. But look, we're going to be going to a quick break. Finished at Knightswood. Knightswood 1, Easterhouse 0. I think that is a hand on the trophy for Knightswood today. I think that we've not heard about how it's going at Port Glasgow. They're a very much Facebook club, so I'll need to go and check that. But that is a massive 3 points. Oh well, full time at Parkleigh, Port Glasgow 2, Royal Albert 1. Beautiful for the mighty Port. But we're going to be going on a quick break, and apologies, Des, you're going to have to start the show when we come back because I think I might have some microphones in the car that I'm going to try and get and see if we can improve the sound quality for our brilliant listeners and viewers on YouTube Live. So my apologies for any issues we've had on that. But for that, we will be back in a couple of minutes. So just stay where you are, and we'll be right back after.
we're talking about, they've played 22 games, so
A few weeks ago, losing 5 goals at home to Trin.
I think Trin having a great season.
They
I
are
think
fantastic.
There's also that side of it. Obviously, I know Beeve obviously just lost their manager as well, so that could have a wee effect on results today. But Trin for me have been a wee bit of a surprise package, I think, maybe in the Premier League. They've always been a notoriously kind of mid-table team, Trin, the last couple of years. But this season, I think they've been really good. They've had a lot of really good results. Unfortunate maybe not to be pushing a wee bit closer to Clydebank. But Clydebank have been running away with this season, haven't they? Obviously lost no games so far. So they've just been like kind of an express train that nobody's really been able to halt at the moment. Beeve, I think, obviously they've got enough that they're going to be safe in terms of 24 points. I think Andy sitting there at 24 and now is going to be okay. But the change of manager, there's been a few poor results this season for Beeve for me. I don't think they've been anywhere near good enough personally for the calibre of player they've got.
I think what will be interesting is who the Beeve replace Straney with. Now, I know they lost a lot of money from the Malcolm sponsorship, and it was obviously funded the club for a few years, a long time. What type of calibre of manager should they be looking at? Do they go for someone who's experienced? Do they try and give, I know we spoke earlier about Sean from Ardea, who hasn't even come into it. What sort of candidate should Beeve be looking for, or should they be expecting?
I think given, I would probably go down and try to get a more kind of established name again. But in saying that, someone like Sean for Ardea, I think deserves an opportunity. He's done a fantastic job, obviously not touting anyone for a job here, but that type of candidate as well, I think clubs have got to be open to be looking at as well. I think if you've done well at lower leagues, doesn't mean you can't come into a bigger league and do it as well.
Absolutely. You've got to get a chance somewhere.
Well, that's it, and he's developed that team from obviously the amateur through and right in. So in saying that, again, with Beeve, it really depends what their remit is next season as well. Are they happy to just kind of look at a top half finish and consolidate again after losing the manager? What kind of funds are going to be available?
There was 2 names that jumped out to me straight away.
Mm-hmm.
One's in work and one's out of work.
Yep.
The one that's in work stood out and he's done an amazing job, but I don't think he looks like he's very loyal where he is Stuart Davison at Largs.
Yeah, I think Largs have done a solid season.
Yes,
as well.
I think Largs have been absolutely tremendous.
Yeah, with a couple of really kind of eye-opening big results.
Do you
as well
think
throughout the season.
Beeve a bigger club than Largs?
Are they? I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
are they?
Are Beeve
It's-
a bigger club? I think what Arnie's done, and let's I'm putting it, I'm not saying because again, Largs was a special place because they won the cup final and I refereed it. But Arnie has just done absolute wonders every single year down there. Absolutely.
I think in terms of recent times in the honours one, you'd say maybe Beeve are, but
they're not the same club as they were.
They're not the same club as they were, so that's a difficult one.
So here's the other one then, and somebody who's been around at a lot of the top clubs and currently not in management. Tony McAnally.
I know. And see, for me, like Tony's done well pretty much everywhere he's been.
That's it too much.
Is it? Do you go for a younger, fresher approach? And that you see what Tony did last year at Darvel. So that's not me and having any slight at all against him at all. See, if you're looking to stabilise the club, Tony's probably a good guy to go to.
Mm-hmm.
But see, if you're looking to push things on, do you go for somebody younger, somebody a bit fresher?
Personally, I would use Conan as an example.
Well, you look at Kev, aye.
He's came from St Roch's, also he's worked under his dad there previously. He's went in there, which people were a wee bit surprised that he's went in there. They've given him the opportunity, had a wee bit of a up and down start, but my goodness, he's got them going well.
We've
So is that when you go maybe do look at that Sean at RDA or something to say, push your opportunity?
Yeah, I know Sean's the one that keeps standing up for me, but I honestly think Sean's done one of the best jobs in the setup at the moment with that, because the budget he's done as well, constraints. RDL's not exactly a handy place to go to attract players as well, so I think he's done a fantastic job.
Johnson Borough and Irvine Meadows going to penalties.
Wow.
Drumchapel, 90th minute goal, 2-0 up against Glenafton. Funny, Nielsen have given their man of the match to their goalkeeper after a Josh Gilmartin, after a 4-0 win. That's a strange one for me. Full time at Darvel, 2-1 to Pollock. Midtown Sheriff giving us a couple of updates here. Campbelltown 1, Rossfield 5. That's a good result for Josh. So we'll get Josh on the show probably. Full time, Drumchapel 2-0. Carluke 3-0 against I've gone blank who they're playing. A very interesting one at the bottom of the third division. Girvan 0, Glasgow United 1. That's a really interesting result at the bottom of the division. I'm surprised that Girvan have been good bit of form, good result against Greenock last week. Glasgow United
struggled all season.
I know, and you've got Glenvale have won. Did Glenvale win today? I need to check it. 1 each equal side. I think it went to 2 each. So even at that, Glenvale go ahead of Girvan with a game less. Vale of Leven go ahead of Girvan, same games, 2 points clear. Glasgow United are a point behind Girvan with 4 games in hand. That's Girvan have been dragged right into it. I thought they were looking like they were possibly going to be safe there, and it's not looking too great right now.
A big job in his hands.
And he's on Johnny's show tomorrow, so live on YouTube at 7 PM. So make sure you check that out. But it's a bit shaky for them.
A relegation form in it.
It is.
They're going at the moment, but again, it's that time of year you're going to get results.
Johnson Borough beat Irvine Meadow 3-2 in penalties. Very tight. That's again for Jamie. That's another good one for him. It's a good showing.
Going back to his old team, that's a game that he would have been desperate to win.
Aye.
Desperate to win. And again, take away the penalties to it. The win column's another win for Murray.
Exactly.
That's
One defeat.
Semi-final of the Scottish Cup.
1 defeat in 17 games. That's tremendous form. And we was touched on the potential rumours of Chris Strain going to Johnson Borough. I just think that Johnson Borough surely couldn't get rid of Murray. No way.
Semi-final of Scottish Cup as well.
I know.
If you say they can't go all the way, they finish second in the league, what season that would be?
I agree. I think that I'd say coming up from the league below, everybody knows the money, right? That is what it is. It takes care of itself. But coming up for that division, second in the league, potentially a bit of silverware. But bit of silverware, I'd say that's a good season. It is very, very much so. But do you know what? We'll start going through the leagues. We've touched quite heavily on the bottom of the Premier League. There's very little to play for above 10th place. I think that it's more about teams trying to save a bit of face. And you look at Drumchapel, good win today. They have gone 4 points clear of Glenafton with a game in hand. The Talbot, another good win today. So they've put themselves in a position where they're going ahead of St Cadoc's. Drumchapel actually have gone ahead of St Cadoc's today as well into 5th place. Great season for Hope and his team. I think they've done a tremendous job down there. Troon, excellent one again. That's them now ahead of Johnson Borough. They move into 2nd place on goal difference, but play the game more. Clydebank are sitting on potentially 49 points, with 13 points clear with 11 games to go.
And that's all they need to do. Just keep winning 1-0. Yeah.
Dropped 8 points in the first 19 games.
Scoring goals constantly.
Aye, I think that.
And leashing in goals.
Aye. I know. I think it is. It's interesting for me in terms of how it is, but it's. What can you say? I think that it's been a really interesting one, and I think that they're doing a great job for me.
Seeing them not winning games, but they're making sure they're not losing games.
Mhm.
They've had a couple of draws in recent times, the last couple of weeks as well, and you kind of get that feeling that it is at that stage for them. They've got such a healthy advantage. It's just, you know what, see if you're not going to win, don't lose. Keep the momentum moving forward. Because I don't see it happening, but if they were to lose a game and get one game in that L column, who's to say there's one collapse?
I know.
Go 2, 3, 4, and next thing you know, I'm sniffing with about them. But if we can see that 11 goals in the league, that's incredible.
See, looking at the Premier League today, there has only been one home win. One home win. Tuna won away from home. Talbot away from home. Hawk win away from home. Largs win away from home. And Clydebank currently win from home. The only home win is Drum against Glenafton, and you get the draw with it. So home is obviously without the window. And obviously Glenafton, you know, but that's not us. That's not it. Paul Payne, what he's done since he's been
Great job.
Incredible.
A great job.
Somebody else as well that other teams may be looking at.
I think that it has definitely been a great job there. And Glenafton are a big club.
Yeah.
So I don't see Glenafton. I don't see
false position for the last couple of years. We were struggling with it.
I don't see. Sorry, guys, we've got another issue with our camera on. I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry, we've got technical issues, but look, stick with us. We'll try and fix it at the next break in about 15 minutes. We're going to try and get some manager interviews done as well, and see who we can go on and get chatting. I've seen if Michael Penders can come on. I think that for them, it's a very good result for them today. I think that the Port have had a great result. That is now the gap between Knightswood and Easterhouse, who are in third place, is 18 points. 18 points there. Port Glasgow are a bit further ahead as well. I think that we've been saying it for weeks. The two of them are gone. It's a fight to see if Port Glasgow can pull them back at all.
It's Knightswood are in the same position as Clydebank are. All they need to do is just win. Just win. Keep it tight at the back. 1-0 win between now and the end of the season. And that's it. Job done.
Yeah, we'll take it. We'll absolutely take it. I just think this third place here, also Easterhouse. Is Kello playing today?
I've not seen the Kello result. They're another one. They're not the best for social media.
Because they could have leapfrogged into second place today. Just by a point because of the goal difference.
Kello are playing
West Park. So we need to see if we can.
4th and 5th, so that's a big game for both teams there. But West Park have also played a couple more games than Kello.
I think West Park have had a good season considering where they've come from.
And Kello, I mean, I know they've done really well a few years ago under Ross. They were never a really prominent team, but they picked themselves back up again.
Especially last season.
Yeah.
Last season, season 4, they did a really
So
good season.
they did a really good season, and 2 years ago when they got promoted from, I think they won the 4th division, but then Kendo goes to St Roch's, takes a big bulk of the players, basically to rebuild the squad 3-4 weeks before the season.
That's a difficult place to travel to.
Yep, and they ended up getting relegated last season. I think that's decent. I think you look at Ross Vale as well. That was a good win for them today, an expected one nonetheless, but a good win for them. And you've also had Eglinton have beaten BSC 4-0 today. So I think that that again expected. Carluke 4-1 or 3-1 against Giffnock, again expected. So you could be looking at the three teams who are in that 3rd, 4th and 5th spot could be dropping points today. I'm just trying to see if we can find out any results.
I do think my favourites for 3rd place in that league is actually Ross Vale. I've seen it for a while.
Do you think so?
Scored a lot of goals. They scored a 5-1 again today as well. So
good momentum.
Great momentum. And I think obviously they're scoring a lot of goals. They're not conceding that many goals. I think I would be quite comfortable putting my money on Ross Vale.
Just had an update from Donny Darrick Reid. 2-0 to the Bankies. Mulcahy with a goal there. So that game is dead and buried. 86th minute, 2-0 to Clydebank. So that's another impressive win for them. They just keep going. And it is a huge one for them. But I think that it's great in terms of we want them to go up. I think most people would be happy for Clydebank to be the team to go up because they're the best set for it. And the setup needs a team to go up. They definitely needs a team to go up because we can't have another year of a team not making it into the Lone League.
And the thing is, see, we want a team to go up, a team that's going to go up and compete as well. The last thing we want is a team to go up and then straight back down again. Clydebank are in a good position, I think, with the infrastructure they've got, the setup they've got. I think they're best suited to get back into the Lowland League if they can get there. And I think they'd be competitive as well. I don't think they'd be any pools going up there. I think they've got there and they do really well.
I think so as well. Let's be honest, I would expect that Clydebank team to be looking to try and maybe win it.
You think so, win it?
I don't see why not. Why would you not?
You've got to frame yourself, of course. I would certainly see them in the top third anyway. Yeah.
No, I'm thinking you're top 3.
You think?
100%. Why?
So I think they could live with the money that Tremaine and East Coast and these kind of guys are throwing at it.
Well, look,
I know that they will get more sponsorship and hopefully they'll get more revenue. But I don't.
Clydebank have shown they're not a poor club this season.
No, they're not. Absolutely not.
But if they keep their squad as well, that's the next thing.
I think we've seen me sign 2 boys again in the middle of the week, the left back and the centre half.
Mm-hmm.
He's building his team around the team that he's currently got.
Yeah.
And it's maybe just adding maybe one or two to it. I think about Gallagher and Middle Park. I've really liked him for the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Nicky Lowe, you've got Nicky Little in there as well.
Yes, Nicolo's on the bench today, you know what I mean?
I know, but
that's the level
that shows you the depth of quality that they have. But in the first year, we'd expect them to be challenging to win it.
You're not telling me that Linlithgow, who are sitting 4 for Cali Braves, are better than Clydebank?
I think Clydebank are. Aye, when you put all that, I've seen Cali Braves last year. I've not seen them this season.
Linlithgow was been a strong side as well.
But
again, heavily supported.
That's it.
And this is not. I agree. I think Linlithgow are a cracking side, a cracking club.
Yeah.
But Clydebank, with the way they've been this season, see if you're winning our West Premier League, potentially going undefeated, you're a top side for that Lone League. We're going to give Josh Gardner a phone after their 5-1 win. I wonder how the bus will be for them, because I think he'll probably be on the bus on the way back.
Last week.
That's true. If we just answer the phone, we'll see how he gets on, because he knows I'm phoning. I told him I was phoning. Josh, how are we, mate? 5-1 win. Des is glad that you're not talking about Bridges this week. Josh, can you hear us? No, cut out. I don't know if I've got internet in there.
I hope he's put over.
No. Let's hope not. I on that. Like, for me, I suppose in a sense I'm maybe underestimating the Lowland League a touch, right? But Broxburn sitting in 6th place after their win today, Clydebank battered the life of them at their own place.
I'm just looking at the top league just now. So you get Celtic B, East Kilbride, Cali Braves, Linlithgow, Connect, Albion Rovers, Broxburn, Bonus, Civil Service.
I would expect.
Looking at it like that.
Top 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's like a kind of almost a guarantee. Would you be surprised if they were on the challenge? No. But would you guarantee Clydebank if would they go into the top?
So see if you take East Kilbride do get promoted and you take them out,
mm-hmm.
then if you go and beat Clydebank against Cali Braves, Linlithgow, Trinent, Albion Rovers, then yes, I can see this. I think East Kilbride would have too much quality, too much depth to them. They could maybe do it in a one-off game, but over the course of a season, I can certainly see them competing with Cali Braves, Linlithgow, Trinent, etc. Yeah. I was probably doing them a disservice to be fair.
Did you think of the B teams being in there though?
I don't mind it.
I don't really. I'm very indifferent to it, to be honest with you.
I don't mind it. They can't do anything, can they?
I know, but I think it is a potential to upset other teams' league, other teams' kind of form and season. Imagine you're East Kilbride, right? And Celtic B go and win that league. I think that would make us kind of still. Obviously, teams that you still need to beat them, so you've also not beaten them in that. But the infrastructure they've got compared to the rest of the teams in that league is night and day.
I suppose they'll need to beat the Celtic team who are training every day.
Professionals.
That's kind of the point in it, though, isn't it? We're going to try and see if we can get Josh now. See if the signal's any better.
Hello?
Josh, how are you? Can you hear us, mate?
I can hear you, mate.
Josh, 5-1 win. It's been a decent enough day for you. Easterhouse losing. We're not sure the West Park and Kello score, so maybe you can tell us that. But how do you feel after the 5-1 win away at Campbelltown?
See, to be honest with you, Paul, I think me and Johnny were both really worried about the game. No, Johnny Bailey, I mean my sister, Johnny Griffiths. Johnny was good. But we were really worried about it today, to be honest with you, because we had 9 out missing for the squad. A few of the guys that were playing through injuries as well, and guys that have been ill all week coming back in, going in cold, and I've not seen them train all week. So I was really worried about it today being a potential banana skin, and the boys were outstanding. We were 3-0 up in like 20 minutes, and we just seen it out really well. And see, in fairness to Campbelltown, we had to show both sides there because they came out the first half and they really put us under pressure. And I think I spoke to you before about how slow we started certain halves and stuff. So we defended brilliantly. I thought our goalkeeper was outstanding as well. And then we went on, and if I'm being honest, we probably missed another couple of chances, but it was really comfortable then to make it a penalty right at the last kick, which I don't think was a penalty. To take the gloss off it in terms of it not being a clean sheet. But I really buzzing with the performance, to be honest, mate.
How's the reaction from the players? Because obviously it has been quite a difficult spell for you, but based on potentially how results have gone today, you could potentially still be in the hunt for that third spot.
See, boys, we've not stopped believing in it, to be honest with you. I don't think any of us have. There's still a long way to go. We've got Kello to play twice. We've obviously got our 2 games in hand as well, and let's be honest, like nobody's really going on around the road got points. Like in Campbelltown, nearly got stuck off the Kello up here a couple of weeks ago as well. So it can be done. It's definitely doable, but it all starts with us trying to put a run of wins together. So we need to only focus on that, and that's it. And that's what we're doing. That's all we could have done today was turn up and win the game. Because by the way, I came up here last year and get beaten, and it was horrendous. Enjoy that one bit. I didn't enjoy the bus journey back, so I'm really pleased that I'm going to win the day with a 5-1 win. It definitely feels a lot better.
Definitely, mate, and I think that it is an important one for you. Look, I'm going to let you go. I know that you might have a wee bit of festivities for the journey back, but look, mate, congratulations on your win today, and long may it continue.
Excellent, mate. Top man, Paul. Speak soon, mate.
Cheers, mate. Bye. So that's a good win for them. Have you been able to find out what the Kello and West Park score is? I've not been able to get it on my phone. Because it'd be quite interesting to see how that goes and how it plays out in terms of the results. I've just had Dak message me there. He says phone Dak today, so I'm going to give him a wee call in a second to see how they got on. Yeah,
2-1 up as well.
2-1. That's interesting. That makes it quite tight.
Yeah.
But we did say that Gallifrey didn't have enough to go and score there.
Aye, and there's still about 20 minutes or so left in the game. 25 minutes left there as well. So I'm interested to see how that one pans out. Again, I still expect East Kilbride to maybe add to that. But again, the next goal is crucial in that.
I think so. Again, don't get me wrong, the 3 points is ultimately all that matters for East Kilbride, because they're really looking to push to try and get themselves into the playoff spot for going up, and hopefully this time if they manage it, which it looks like they will, then they would be I think they'd be similar to Clydebank for me. They're well placed to go up, and I think East Kilbride as a town needs that, you know what I mean? But Broomhill winning today, that puts them or winning as it stands, that puts them tied in points with Gala if Gala don't get something with 3 games in hand. Now we're talking about it at the top of the show, how we're thinking, I don't think that Broomhill are going to be able to do much, but again, it's only one place. Berwick are drawn as well at the moment. I'm not sure Cumbernauld Colts score, but Berwick are drawn as well.
Cumbernauld Colts were winning the last just a moment ago.
If you're Gallifrey team as well, but you find yourself in that position, for example, this week and next week, you're bottom of the league and you're thinking, where defensive goes, we've killed us this season. We've scored so many goals. We're competing against top of the league, East Kilbride, who have been steamrolling everybody else. It must be a nightmare for a coach. Well, East Kilbride 4-1.
There you go.
They've scored 2 goals in the last 5 minutes.
So that's the difference. That takes them in 98 goals in 27 games.
Cumbernauld are drawing one each for still in uni.
See, to be honest, with Gala losing today, Cumbernauld with a game in hand on Gala go 2 points clear of them. If it stays as is, Stirling Uni, they're 32 points. If it stays as is, they're safe for me. It's about the bottom four. So it could be an awful day for Gala because Broomhill are winning, Cumbernauld, Colts and Berwick both picking up points potentially. It's a tough one. But I wonder what the repercussions are for relegation in Gala. You'd expect them going into the South League. You'd expect them to go and win that league comfortably. But then I don't know the repercussions for the West of Scotland League if Clydebank managed to go up. I'm not sure how it would work with promotion. So if anybody knows that, then don't hesitate to let us know.
That's what people farm.
That becomes too complicated for me because you get the obvious thing. Well, if a team goes up, they could bring a team into the 4th division, but I've heard that's not going to happen. So
I think we need to streamline it. I think there's too many different permutations of what could happen if that happens. I think we just need to be right, bottom 3 down, then top 3 or so up, or whatever it may be. I think it just needs to be more.
I think
common sense approach.
I think because you're looking like you could be looking at Broomhill coming down, but then you could be looking at Gala going into South. I think there is too many different things that can happen.
Because you don't want a league with an odd number. Somebody's always going to be spare that week, and that's not good for anybody.
I don't know how, because that is, if a team don't come into the league if Clydebank go up, then that's how it will be. So then they'd have to promote.
The 4th team.
Surely you'd have to promote an extra team
Every
in the
week.
4th division would just be an uneven number. I appreciate that's a bit disrespectful to the 4th division, but surely that would be the way it would go.
That's common sense. Yeah, common sense doesn't always prevail.
I think there's an easier way to structure it than the way it is just now. And I think it's also set up in a certain way to protect clubs.
I think so as well, to be honest with you. I would agree that it protects your higher up clubs. And again, that's why the 4th division, you're saying that.
That's why it was created. Because the bottleneck at the top. These other teams had to play someone, so that's why the spaces were made available.
No, it's quite an interesting one. So if anybody listening wants to get in touch with how it would potentially pan out, then let us know. But look, we'll be right back after these breaks. Or you can get us on Instagram and X at Sat Live, Sat Football Live, and you can get us on YouTube. So check us out for the last half hour on YouTube. We're easy. Just give us a wee shout on that, or you want to put any comments on the comments section in YouTube, then fire away. You're more than welcome to. We've only got 27 minutes left of the show. We appreciate everybody who's tuned in today and helped us out at East End Community Radio. it's great to have the guys allowing us to come in here, and our sponsors VSN for helping get the show off the ground as well. So thanks to both parties there. Now, Lowland League, I won't lie, I'm still bemused about your Clydebank comments. I won't lie. I think that Clydebank are definitely would be a top 3 team in that league.
I think, look at, again, it's pure negligence because it's not obviously a league that I follow that closely. If Clydebank go up, which we obviously fully expect it, I'm sure we'll take far more interest in it. But looking at the teams that are there and the surroundings, I would think that, I don't think they would win it straight away, but I certainly think they would be competitive.
Yeah, that's my thoughts on it as well. I think it's hard to say any club for any league is going to go up and win that league. Do you know what I mean? I think that just doesn't pan out like that. But I think the 100% they would be competitive. But I think there's good teams in that Lowland League. Not as poor a league as some people make out to be.
No, because the top teams are good.
They're good sides. They are good sides.
If you get down to the bottom and you're looking at Broomhill, Gallagher, Cumbernauld Colts, Berwick Rangers, I mean, they were a long established senior club in the top end of the Scottish Premier League. To see them languishing at 15th in the Lowland League.
So, guys, we're going to go to Michael Pender at Knightswood to see how he's feeling after their 1-0 win against Easterhouse. Just give him a wee second and see if we can get him. Michael, 1-0 win against Easterhouse, going down to 10 men late on. Sounded like quite an interesting game. How did it pan out?
Well, listen, it was an interesting game. First half, we could have been in it. They break 5-4 up. There was loads of chances for both teams. Easterhouse came out absolutely fast as we knew they would and try and unsettle us. We kind of first 5-10 minutes, they did well at it, and then we managed to get a bit of foothold in the game and get in 1-0 up at half time. We were definitely slightly edged in the first half, as I said, because there. Second half was a tighter game, but we changed the shape again, sat in, and to be fair, we should have probably scored to get the second and the third just to see it out easier. But we did see it out. I don't think I can get fined on your station, so it's fine. A bizarre red card at the end, to say the least, but that's when you know it's more about the rest of the game, isn't it?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't think you can get fined for that, but maybe you can, who knows. I think that you've had a really tough run of games. I appreciate you lost last week to Royal Albert, who are a good side, who only lost 2-1 to Port Glasgow today. But you've had Port Glasgow, Royal Albert and Easterhouse. You must be pretty pleased with coming away with 6 points out of those 3 games and not losing any ground on Port Glasgow, who are not having any ground gained by Port Glasgow in second place.
Oh, definitely. The whole message to the boys just now is if we can just keep going, then it's in our hands. It's exactly where you want to be. You're not having to look at the table and see what anyone else is doing, and we just need to approach the game now and tick it off. And I think when the wins are so important, we did it at the Port, we've done it today against a really good Easterhouse team. Last week we've lost 1-0. Sometimes it doesn't go for you, and we've done it Royal Albert. But it's the boys are giving everything the top of us. We couldn't really ask for much more.
Definitely not, mate. Look, it's been a tremendous season so far, and you're just getting that wee bit closer. But look, Michael, thank you very much for coming on, mate, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
You too, Paul. Thanks very much. All the best.
Cheers, mate. We're going to go straight to my mucker, Dak, and see how they're feeling after that. Really impressive win for me after losing 2-0 to Darvel last week to turn that around. Really, really good win for them.
Hello.
Dak, 2-1 to the mighty Paul. After being losing 2-0 to Darvel last week, he must be really pleased with it.
Last week showed that we're a better team than we did last week.
Dak, we were talking about it, myself, Des and Scott. It's been quite a good day for you in terms of, we've said we didn't think that you guys would go down, but it's been a good day for you guys in the fact that Cumnock, Benburb, Hurlford, Shotts, Gartcairn and Darvel all dropped points today. We yourselves picking up the win. You're now 7 points clear of coming up below you with games in hand. You're in a decent spot considering, because we've obviously been quite vocal on the fact that it's been really tough for you guys as a management team to deal with certain issues in the background this season.
PG, I think, to be fair, I've not had a chance to look at the results, so you let us know that. Obviously, the lows, but I think that we've got to look a wee bit ahead, rather up the way, rather than being focused on that. I think, to be honest with you, mate, I've said this to a few people now. It's been hard, mate. Gafford deserves so much amount of credit, mate, and the players especially. The players done the job today, but see, having to listen to all the rumours, mate. We're all well aware of the rumours kicking about where people getting the follow-up job and we're at a job and this, that, and the next thing. But one thing I think it shows you for the day is the players are very much ways. The Gaffer's got some determination, keeps on dealing with the rumours going about the club, the amount of stuff he's put up with Arthur Park. I don't think he gets enough respect for the job he's done, mate, because if anybody knew the half of what he's done Arthur Park and what he's brought into the club, and it's a massive part of keeping the club on, to be fair, but people inside know, but a lot of people outside know. But I just feel as if for that, I'm chuffed for him today, mate, because our phones have all been red hot into everybody saying with the managerial changes, is he getting the follow-up job, is he getting the follow-up job, and it's not coming for him, by the way, it's not me getting at that, but to be fair, I'm delighted for the boys, and I'm delighted for the Gaffer. They really deserve that, mate.
That is something we've touched on in the studio today, is that
First, big man, don't you start that.
Well, mate, I've got to try and get content for this somehow. So we touched on it. I think that the two clubs we've spoken about, obviously, maybe you can't say, but we've spoken about it where the two clubs being mentioned a lot are Johnson Borough and Pollock. And we think that for both clubs, it would not be a good decision or make sense to relieve the managers. That does put you into ninth place today, ahead of Beith on goal difference. You're only 2 points behind Glenafton with 3 games in hand. Like you said, you're maybe looking forward, and I think that considering everything that's going on, it's been a decent season for you.
I say, mate, we're all winners, mate. We don't want to be where we're at. Do you know what I mean? We want to be challenging for cups. Like we go to the cup final last year, we wanted to do better in the cups and had a couple of decent runs, but nothing amazing. And we want to do better in the league. We all want that, but obviously with the circumstances, and having to let some players go and reduce the wage bill, things like that. And then we've put a bit into younger players, and you need to give them a wee bit of an opportunity. So a lot of them really stepped up to the plate today, PG, so they deserve some amount of credit. But we showing O'Donnell again right back today, 17 outstanding, Gareth McTran, all young boys. And it can be difficult at times, you might not get that consistency. Maybe that is just we're a wee bit better away from home than we're at home, do you know what I mean? That's just because the boys can go and play, and it's maybe they expect that maybe there's not as much pressure for the fans. I don't know, maybe that's for us to work something out there, but boys were terrific, mate, and they deserve all the credit, mate. That was a good result, because every team, all the teams in there that you mentioned, everybody's scrapping, includes ourselves for points.
Definitely, mate. Look, you guys enjoy your weekend, and congratulations on your win. I'll speak to you soon, mate.
Mate, it's good to hear for you when we win a game, round, mate, no?
Oh, mate, I'm just happy to speak to you on a winning weekend, but take care, mate.
Take care.
Well, there we go. Dak's obviously happy today. We're going to go to Stuart Davidson at Largs right now. See Arnie after another good win for the club against Shotts today. We'll just see. Hello, Arnie.
How you doing, all right?
I'm good, mate. How are you? 4-2 against a Shotts team who are right in form. You must be pleased with that.
Aye, delighted, mate. Knew that it's going to be a very tough game going through there. They've been flying, some cracking results. I know how physical and how fit they are, and that's one thing we knew we had to stand up to today. And I think we've done that as well as show good quality.
It's something we spoke about on the show that I appreciate it was only 3 points you were deducted, and it's not been quite as heavy as some other teams, but it seemed to have a wee impact on you at the time. But the last few games have shown these are starting to get back to how you were early in the season. Are you feeling the same yourself?
Aye, it wasn't good. It wasn't good timing, obviously losing the points. But when I say that, I mean, look, any points we dropped in about there was very fault or didn't the other teams. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say we kind of down tools or anything like that, because I think it was just the way it happened. It was just we lost a game. I think it was against Hurlford, 1-0, and we lost the 3 points the day before that. And next thing you know, you're dropped in the league. And the higher up you are sitting in the league, the confidence is there. So we're doing 6 points right away, and I think they dropped some other points. And next thing you know, you're kind of back down the mid-table, and it's always good to look at. You're near the top of the league, and the boys are feeling confident. So hopefully we're working our way back towards that.
Definitely, mate. He's been praised highly the last couple of seasons. I think he's without it being disrespectful for yourselves, on the face of it, in terms of finances, you've punched well above your weight, and I think he's shown that he's got a really strong unit. Next week you've got Darvel and you've got Glenafton coming up. Do you see these as good opportunities to try and get yourself as high up in the league as you can?
Aye, well, next week Darvel's in the cup. So that's obviously a chance to get a cup final. And then the week after Glenafton, who have been doing well as well. So I'm always repeating myself when I speak to people about how tough this league is. And nothing's guaranteed. Any points you get, any wins or any next round of a cup, you've really got to earn. So we're just looking to next Saturday now for the semi-final, and hopefully we can get the fans and the club and even the players something to look forward to in the cup final.
Definitely, mate. Look, you've done a tremendous job, and it's another really good one today, mate. I'll let you go and enjoy your weekend. Thanks a lot for coming on, mate.
Cheers, Paul. Thanks for that, mate.
Cheers, mate. See you later. I think we did touch on it earlier in the show that this was them getting back to the form that we were expecting for Largs, and I think it's a really solid result because Shotts have been in good form.
And going up to Hannah Park, that's a tremendous result. As we said, Arnie's teams always resemble him as a player. Hard working, hard to beat, right in amongst it. So yeah, they've taken a blip, but they're right back in it. And yeah, I can't really praise Arnie enough for the job he's done down there.
Yeah, I think it's a really good season. As you said, they could have a wee blip there, but I think they'll finish strong this season.
Yeah,
I think they're going to knock on and finish a few places higher than they're sitting just now.
I think what they'll do is they'll have a very big impact on what happens at the bottom of the league and at the top of the league.
Yeah.
Because they're going to take points off teams left, right and centre. Going down to Barfield is a really, really hard place to play.
It is. The team going on the day result, we're going to Largs to Short. I know what's on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a hell of a difference. They went there, it'll be a long journey over there, a long journey home. Nobody so long, there's 3 points in the bag. But that's massive. A big pitch. So fair play to them. Great result.
I think they should be doing that. We've actually we've had a wee message sent in, and it goes back to the chat with Clydebank. Clydebank would be a top 3 team that would invest wisely in players like they have already. Moffat is one of the best upcoming managers about. Without I would no trying to move anybody on for any club, particularly I feel like I got a lot of time for Maxi. Sorry, I'm looking like I'm trying to get Maxi on the phone. For Moff, we've spoken about this with managers moving and stuff. Do teams need to start looking at guys like Moff and Arnie and
we spoke about straining potentially moving up levels. There's nothing to stop Gordon Moffat moving up levels. Absolutely none whatsoever. Always got strong ties, obviously, Annie.
We're going to give Maxi at Pollock a wee phone to see if we can get him.
Hello,
Maxi, how you doing? We've already had Dak on, but it's nice to hear for the main man himself. That was a really good win for you today, 2-1 against Darvel after losing last week. You must be pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, man, I don't think the scoreline reflected how good our performance was, to be honest, Paul. We admittedly weren't at our best last week, but there was a few choice words during the week, and we needed more. We had two pretty similar performances against Clydebank and Darvel. I gave them a wee bit of slack because, let's say, we were really depleted on numbers against Clydebank. I think there were 5 teenagers started the game, so they'll learn for that and they'll get better. But last week we started the game well, but after that I didn't think we deserved much for the game. It was poor. But today showed a bit of character. Thoroughly deserved to win the game. Should have won with more. Probably, to be fair, the sending off didn't help us because I thought we were really on top. We were 11v11, had the woodwork. We've got one cleared off our line. Goals had 2 terrific saves. It was. It's one of the ones you're glad it ended up 2-1 because it showed a bit of steel at the end. But obviously, because of the dominance we had in the game, you want a wee bit of break to get the other goal. But no, I'm glad that the way they sort of steeled out at the end. But no, they've took a bit of criticism. A lot of things getting said about Paul. As you know, Paul always attract attention. The
regardless of where they're at. But I've held my counsel mostly on it. But no, I'm delighted for the players. They thoroughly deserve that.
I was going to speak about how now you've moved into 9th place. Every single team below you in the league dropped points, and we touched on it at the start of the show how we've been saying for weeks we don't think Pollock will go down. We think he's a bit too much about he's that you'll be able to stay up in it. For me, I think today is absolutely guaranteed your safety in the league, whether I know you maybe don't want to look too far ahead or even look too far behind. But since you've brought it up, we'll mention it. We spoke about it in the show with the rumours going about. And again, obviously there's maybe no too much you can say, but for us, we said it to Dak as well, the mentions for Johnson Barrett and yourselves for potential managers going elsewhere. I think that either club would be foolish to make any changes, because I think that Johnson Barrett Murdy's done a great job there, and yourself with the situation you've been in, you've handled it very well. Is there anything that you can give us on how you've been feeling this week with certain rumours coming up?
I just think it's dead disrespectful. It's disrespectful to the clubs. If it's not, I mean, my club, I'm in constant contact with one guy at my club. He deals with me, and we two of us were laughing about it during the week, in the sense that it's not been spoken about. It's disrespectful to the clubs, disrespectful to the managers who've been mentioned. If I've not been trying to promote ourselves, so that's disrespectful to them. And it's just typical West of Scotland. But I've been at this level for 30 years, and I've seen everything. And it really, it's something that's really creeped into the game in the last number of years, or the gossiping, and obviously social media channels come alive and people making up stories. But you know what? I just got on with my job, which has been a very, very difficult job. I know the facts at Pollock. I know where Pollock are at. I think a lot of people close on about me know, because I think if you know me personally, which one of your studio guests in the show knows me really well, I don't tell you how it isn't. I tell you how it is, and whether that's right, wrong, or indifferent, that's just the way that's my nature. But it's been a tough gig. It's probably not the gig I thought I was going into, but as you can see, with a few managerial changes during the week, but I've just dug deep as I do and try and get it to a point. The main aim is, because I know what our budget is a staying up budget, and that's the facts. So me, Chris and Dak just need to stabilise the club and see where the direction goes from next year. But I don't think it'll be the only club. It's going to be in a change of direction next year. I think there's going to be a number of clubs, and ultimately I think the level needs to stabilise again financially. So I think it's just got out of control the last few years. And I think long term it will benefit all the clubs, and it will help stabilise the club's future, because there's so many clubs, including Paul, with great history at this level. But the fundamentals of the wages structure has just been absolutely outrageous the last few years at this level. It's just been ridiculous. And unfortunately, some clubs have been forced into paying more than what they have. And now we're seeing, I think I said at the start of the season, I think 6 or 7 clubs financially went for it this year. And obviously one's more or less going to go up, which will be Clydebank, fair play them. But I knew there was always going to be casualties in the back of that. We weren't in that position, because I knew at the start of the year where we were. A lot of people have sort of grown to know where we were at after the start of the year, but I knew exactly where we are in the food chain in this league, and it wasn't going to be at the top unless we produced something extraordinary. But we've had a couple of disappointing, really unlucky results as well. Really unlucky in the cups. Never lost in 90 minutes in 3 of the cups competitions at our level, which is disappointing. We just fell short in penalties in extra time. But no, at the end of the day, I could come on and bite back and say things, and I see some really stupid comments. But I know the facts. Chris knows the facts. Dak knows the facts, and the club knows where they're at. But Paul's going to have to make where they're at, and we've still to sit down and see where that roadmap's going to be. But rumours are rumours, Paul, and I just don't like the way managers get treated at our level. I think we've been on for a number of years about players' mental health and well-being. Look at the way some of the managers get assassinated on social media at this level, get criticised, things said about them, like you say, rumours. I think people need to remember that managers are just human beings like everybody else. Coaches are just human beings, and just take a step back sometimes and don't let your fingers do the typing, and just take a breath before you say anything derogatory, because nobody goes out to lose a game. No manager goes out to lose a game. No manager goes out to lose budgets or whatever else. So it's just sometimes people need to take a deep breath. And as you know, I don't say a lot on social media, but I'm very well aware what the comments are saying. And but again, I'm not just talking about me, I'm talking about in general. I just think the way the managers get treated is something that's really disgraceful. But listen, my players deserve every credit today, and I hope the ones that criticised them in the last couple of weeks can show a bit of class and give them credit today, the ones with the game, because they totally dominated that game today and should have won them more.
Max, it's Des. How you doing, mate?
Hi, Des.
Well, you don't need to do the yourself. I've been bigging you up. And obviously, I know the situation we talk about regularly. You're giving your players all the credit in the world there. I think you, Chris, and Dak need to give yourself praise as well, because you've been through a tumultuous season. You've had your budget cut left, right, and centre. You've lost players mid-season. What else are you expected to do? I think people have to have a realistic expectation and realism. And as you quite rightly said, clubs have been out there and they're paying exorbitant amounts of money at this level, which is clearly unsustainable. Surely you've got to look after the future that the club as it currently is and where it's going to be next. And I think quite clearly that's exactly what you've done, and you've managed the expectations extremely well.
Well, listen, I know what you're saying. There's always try and put, and I know it's not a cliche, and Chris will tell you, and you've told me because you've been in the changing room, mate, always try and put everybody else first. I look at when I'm delighted for the players, the staff, the committee, and the supporters, especially the away supporters at Pollok. The away supporters are the true Pollok supporters. We get a lot of 90-minute fans at Newlandsfield that come and just berate and expect. I don't know why. I don't know where Pollok have got this where the expectancy where they think they should be, because effectively they've not won anything major for a number of years, long before I came in. We've come in at a really bad time, unfortunately. That's just sometimes that's the way the cycle works, and obviously I've been through a hard time at my previous club, so maybe I'm the reaper, maybe it's down to me, maybe I'm the bad luck charm, I don't know, but you're right. I think clubs are going to have to stabilise the future of the club. But again, like I say, I get disappointed with some of the comments. I've managed at this level for 14 years continuously, so kind of like people need to remember that, and it's getting through a tough period. And I've openly said it, and I've said it to you, Des, and I'm sure Dak said it to Paul. We've suffered 5 budget cuts, 2 years. Without going into any figures, and it's well over 60-70% where I thought it was going to be, and that's just the facts. As you know, we've lost big players. We lost big players mid-season last year. Lucky enough, we had a run. We got to a cup final and just fell short. This year, we obviously lost a couple of big players, and I can't replace them. There's no money to replace them. The money's been brought in and the money's been saved in wages. There's no money to replace them. I've signed 2 young boys this week, and 3, all teenagers playing for nothing. Des, that's the facts. Before it goes out there, they're not even playing the expenses, and that's where we're at. That's where we're at to the end of the season, and then we need to see it. It's just unfortunate that I think I've got quite a core of progressive players in that squad, and it's going to be very, very difficult to keep them next year on the proposed figures. So, listen, guys, that's the facts. It's better. Like I say, I've not really said anything, and probably from your point of view, still want to hear it for the horse's mouth, but that's the facts, and I don't mince my words with it. And so that hopefully can put a few things to bed for people that think Pollok's a big club, don't be kidding, big support, but they've been fracturing and hemorrhaging money for a number of years, and it's just came ahead. And unfortunately, it's came ahead in my watch, but not through anything me, Chris, and Dak have done. And MD at the forefront of the club will come out and say that. But I think you guys are knowledgeable guys on the show, and you get it. The club did make a statement in the last 2 or 3 statements in the last 18 months, and people still come on and people still say, why are Pollok struggling? I mean, it just beggars belief that some of these people on social media asking these questions when it's been quite publicly made where the club's at. There's a lot of other clubs in Pollok's position that have maybe not publicly announced it. So I think there'll be a bit of realism coming in the summer for a lot of clubs. And I don't mean that in a way you want that to happen, but it's just the nature of football. It's the nature of the way the world is now. So yeah, that's where I've just got to take it on the chin.
Look, Maxie, genuinely for us, it's great when we get a manager that comes on and is very open, as you just were yourself there. So we really appreciate it, mate. And go and enjoy your win. Enjoy being in a good position in the league, well, things considered, and have a good weekend, mate. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks. I'm already looking at the next crisis next week, Paul. But anyway, I'll try and enjoy it for 10 minutes. Thanks.
Cheers, mate. Take care.
Cheers, Maxie.
it's always nice to have a manager come on and be very open about it, and it's great. We've only got a couple of minutes left, so I'm just going to give a couple of wee updates. I'm going to stick this up on the screen. So Whitburn beats St Cadoc's 1-0. Whitburn need a minimum of a draw against Lochar next week, or Lochar need to win by 2 clear goals. So thanks to Midtown Sheriff for all your updates on that today. In the Lowland League, just as we're finishing up, a very comfortable win in the end for East Kilbride, 7-1. 7-1. Bowness go 2-2. Broomhill get a man sent off. Broomhill get a penalty in 89th minute. 3-2 to Broomhill. So that's a really good one. Celtic B have drawn with Berwick Rangers. A good result for Berwick Rangers there. Yep, very good result for East Kilbride. Broxburn 3-1 win against Cowdenbeath. Really good result there. Civil Service Strollers drawn 0-0. I suppose where they're sitting in the league, it's kind of borderline irrelevant because they're very safe. Cumbernauld Colts getting a 1-1 draw today. That's a good point for them against Stirling Uni, so they'll be pleased with that. It's been an interesting day, and apologies for anybody that listens. I don't know if we'll have many people listening from the Lowland League at this stage, but it's something we're trying to build our understanding on, and we will talk about it more as we go. We'll finish up with PG versus the Pundits. So first game we both went for East Kilbride. We were both right. Second game, Hurlford, Gartcairn. You went for Hurlford, I went for Gartcairn. I take a 2-1 lead. We both went for Rob Roy, both wrong. Both went for Muirkirk, both right. Both went for Thrieve, both wrong. I went for the draw with Knightswood and Easterhouse. I was wrong. You guys were right with Knightswood. So I've ended the rut. It is a 3-3 draw today between the PG and the Pundits. So it's a very tight finish for us today. But look, absolutely delighted for everybody listening. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Numbers have been a bit better on YouTube today, so thanks again for listening to that. We'll try and sort out any technical issues we have. It's still very new for us, so we're trying to get all that sorted. Make sure you tune in to all our shows. You can check us out on Pyramid Promotions. Get us checked out. We've got Johnny Bailey will be on tomorrow live on his weekly show. We've got Jordan and Michael do the Championship to League 2 show on Tuesday. Paul will be on for the West of Scotland build-up on East End Community Radio and on YouTube, hopefully. We've got Shay Mitchell doing the Premier League show on Thursday. So look, I really appreciate everybody tuning in. Thanks for listening. Thanks for all the support and all the comments. Comments were great today. Thank you very much, guys. I'm just going to leave you on a wee bit of the PG and DAC, the old school jingle. Have a good weekend, everybody. Take care.